VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
And welcome to Adcon Stadium in Port Melbourne. This is Elimination Final Time, the Love the Game final series on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. We are on SEN2. We are streaming as well through VFL.com.au. You'll be able to get a replay of the match video streamed later on this evening. Peter Mercado alongside Adam Sarakoglu and Mark Stone, who's also out there boundary side on a magnificent day for football. Both sides out on the ground, and we're not too far away from getting the ball bounced at 10 past 2 this afternoon. Let's go around the grounds while we've got the opportunity, because things are tightening up. Footscray kicked another goal at the VU Whitten Oval, Adam.
Second goal for Kanakis, so 5-5-35. Footscray leading at Williamstown 4-3-27 at the VU Whitten Oval. That's the first goal kicked into the breeze at the VU Whitten Oval for today. That one is approaching half-time. The loser of that game will play the winner of our game here today between Port Melbourne and Geelong in the semi-final next week. So, game to keep an eye on for us, because there will be a meeting between the loser of that and the winner of this next week. Of course, the winner of Footscray and Williamstown go directly through to the prelim and get a week off.
And the other match about to get underway down at the Swinburne Centre at Punt Road Oval. It is between Richmond and Essendon. We'll have around the ground scores from that as well. And a reminder that tomorrow here at this venue, it'll be Werribee and Box Hill. That'll be live on 11:16 SEN from 1:30. So you'll be able to hear us 1:30 throughout the final series here on 11:16 SEN, and also SEN2 on Saturdays as well. And the grand final, the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's and the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL competitions, both will be live on 11:16 SEN in a month's time at Icon Park. We're really looking forward to that, and hopefully we're doing all our weather dances and everything to make sure we get a nice sunny day, because it'll be magnificent.
This would be absolutely swell if Mother Nature's listening. Just give us some of this.
Don't worry about Mother Nature, worry about Anthony Stangers. He can make anything happen. He's going to make the weather. He's going to turn it on for us.
Monday to Friday, do as you wish, but just give us some nice conditions on the Saturdays and Sundays, please.
A man who is over there in the middle of the ground. He'll have the toss of the coin shortly. Mark Stone, welcome back to you. Good crowd building up too between these two sides. The Borough always passionate supporters.
Yeah, and the Cat supporters come up the highway, and you can always tell when the hill starts to fill with supporters here at Northport Adcon Stadium, where there's a crowd building. The crowd is building here. But as you said, two sides going through the pace. The umpires, they're practicing their bouncing, and boundary umpires, their throw-ins. So goal umpires practicing their goal waving sticks and sticks waving. And it is a great day, and it is fantastic to be here at finals time. And just the anticipation of these two sides, and you say Port Melbourne go as the underdog, and they would love that status today, that going into a game where you're in the home rooms, you're wearing your home shorts, but you're the underdog in this side, because I believe Geelong are a side that could go all the way and win a flag. That's my prediction. They've got a very good even side, fast track. As I said, it could be a shootout today, which I'm really looking forward to. There is a bit of a breeze out, and we spoke about it before. And I stand here on the close to the grandstand wing, and I can feel the breeze in my face. It is coming across the ground directly in my face towards the grandstand here at Adcon Stadium, but also it is sort of going down to Williamstown, the Bob Bonnet end. So that's the left of the dial, but waiting for the two captains to get to the middle, and they will do in a few moments.
So it'll be Aaron Black and Tom O'Sullivan. Of course, there are two Tom O'Sullivans for Port Melbourne, number 4 and number 43. We normally go with Tommy O'Sullivan for the number 43 variety. Had a good year, Peter. He's a noted goal kicker. He's fairly new to the side. Of course, Tom's been well established now in the Port Melbourne lineup for a number of years here in the VFL, and he's a star of the competition. But there are two Tom O'Sullivans for those listening at home. We'll go with Tommy and Tom today.
Well, so we did mention too that, of course, Jordan Lyle won the Frosty Miller medal with 40 goals for the season, which is a good effort from his perspective to win a Frosty. He'll be awarded that at Liston Trophy Night coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Now the captains are making their way into the middle of the ground.
Aaron Black, Jordan Lyle. The coin goes up. Toss of the coin. Here we go. Geelong win the toss. So Geelong VFL team win.
They won the toss, and they're going to kick to the left of screen,
left of
Stoney.
goal at Con Stadium, and there's probably a 3 to 4 goal breeze sort of to that end, but it's going across the ground. So they will kick with the breeze in this first quarter.
All right, beautiful. We're only a couple of minutes away from this one. A winner from you, Stoney, as you walk into the benches?
Geelong.
Adam?
When you've got 18 AFL guys out there, and Port Melbourne is missing a couple of their prime movers, it's hard to make an argument against Geelong here, but it is Port Melbourne at the old Northport Oval, and you never write off the borough when they're on their spiritual home turf here at Adcon Stadium. So hopefully it goes down to the wire. I'm still sticking with the Cats though.
All right. I reckon I'll go Port Melbourne then, just to be a little bit different. I mean, they play this ground so well. And when their backs are against the wall, they go to another level. And that could be the factor, the difference today.
This is, of course, one of 2 games that are about to kick off. The other one is a qualifying final between Richmond and Essendon. The winner of that through to the prelim. The loser of that will play the winner of tomorrow's elimination final between Werribee and Box Hill right here on Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live.
But let's go around the grounds because it's almost half-time at VU Whitten Oval.
So the Dogs are now 6-5-41, leading Williamstown 5-3-33. The Bulldogs have just steadied late. They've kicked a couple of goals late in the second term. So that's almost half-time. It's beyond the 30-minute mark. And as we know, the loser of that game plays the winner of this one next week in the semi.
All right, the team's getting into position. As I mentioned, good crowd, the Norm Goss stand filling up nicely. And the Borough fans, boy, they're passionate. They're making plenty of noise, as you would expect. It's finals time in Melbourne. It's a Love the Game final series. And it's Geelong taking on Port Melbourne in the elimination final here on Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live. As looked like someone was caught out by the 666. Umpires today, Michael Pell, Matthew Young, and Paul Rebashini. It'll be Paul Rebashini to get us underway.
Former Frankston boy.
Here on Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live.
It's good to be back here, last day of August on the eve of September, and already it's Constable that gathers the ball for Geelong. Selwood tries to get a hand pass off to Jones. Got back in numbers though, Port Melbourne. Hooper's kick bounces in front of Tommy O'Sullivan. Reid slapped it back inside 50. When he is the ruckman today. Now Tom O'Sullivan, the co-skipper, has it on centre wing.
Yeah, it does. Goes short to Hooper on centre wing, who can go for a run. Gains about 20 metres and then kicking. Looking for Haratuku. Got his mitts to it, couldn't complete it. Here's Tommy O'Sullivan. He was dispossessed of the footy. We're on 50 for Port Melbourne. Haratuku, little dribbling ball inside the 50. It's going nowhere. Good contest. Nice tackling pressure. For Cigarello, he's not going to be paid the free kick. Eventually the stalemate ensues and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Well umpired by umpire Pell then. Just let the play go early. A few nerves for everybody, umpires included. So good decision.
Ball tossed back up. Eventually we'll get there. It's Abbott doing the ruck work down there with Haratuku. They're a tall team, the Cats. Abbott going again. He's wrapped up by Haratuku and the ball will be thrown up. Inside 50 for Port Melbourne. Early stages of this one. And no score on the board as yet.
An early jump there from Haratuku in the ruck contest. Selwood spits the hand pass out. Constable didn't want to go boundary side. Tried to go a bit more direct, but Wen cuts it off for Port Melbourne. Straight into the man on the mark, who was Wiley Buzzer. And we have a boundary throw in.
Port Melbourne will be happy to have stoppage after stoppage, boundary thrown, because it's actually against the breeze. They want to try and limit the damage in the first quarter that Geelong can create. But yeah, good start from the Borough, I reckon.
It's going to be Wen and Abbott in the ruck here on the paintwork on this near side. I love the game final series. Abbott, nice handball. Selwood, McLaughlin, Cats into attack once more. Backing back is Kruger. Might have lost it in the sun. No mark taken. Ball tracking toward the line. It stays in. Desperate defending by Phillips. Eventually came out. Buzzer with the snap, and he kicks the goal. Cats strike first blood in the elimination final. 1 straight 6. Port Melbourne yet to score, almost 2.5 gone. The ball just eluded Van Noonen in the wrong spot there, and that just allowed the door to open for Wiley Buzzer to get the loose ball and kick the first goal.
Bit of indication of the breeze here. Buzzer over the left shoulder. but he took it out wide and the ball just come directly straight through the goal. So it is going to that forward pocket there at the Bob Bonnet end.
Danny Eunice kicked a goal for Essendon in that qualifying final. So Essendon won straight 6. Richmond yet to score, a game that started the same time as ours.
And is it half-time yet at VU Whitten Oval?
Looks like it's still going. Very long second term, but scores level 6-5-41 apiece between Footscray and Williamstown. That is 34 minutes into the second term.
Wen and Abbott in the ruck. Abbott just reaching over the top, but trying to get his way through Jared Blair. He's immediately ridden into the turf by Scott Selwood, and the umpire will come in and throw it up on the edge of the circles. This magnificent service at Adcon Stadium. They've done some great work. Well done to the football club and to the council as well. As Templeton just throws it on the boot up towards half forward. Is there going to be mark paid? No, it's going to be advantage anyway. And Gasper, the 23rd player for Port Melbourne, kicks from 50. The bouncer eluding a couple. Lyle trying to get his hands to it. Was taken out by Clark. The umpire said no free kick and we'll have it thrown in 5 metres around from the behind post. So, again, the rucks, Abbott just making up some ground. Haratuku doing the ruck work inside 50 as per usual for Port Melbourne. No one can get clear. Just a handball shot out there by Arnott, but it's the Cats who look to clear outside the 50. Getting hands to it, McLaughlin. He just pushes it forward, intended for fourth. The boundary line wins out right in front of Mark Stone. He was trying to pick up an early possession. Now there's a free kick going on here.
Deliberate from the Port Melbourne player, and Geelong will take the kick.
Darcy fought to take it. Trying to big crackers, Keenan. Goes down the line, right football. Jermaine Jones goes up, but he wasn't the front man, so the ball went to ground level. It just trickles toward 50. Kruger came out, got collected pretty quickly. Still a chance here for the Cats. Jones, the hand pass over the top, and Fogarty can run in. Do they get their second? They do. Lockie Fogarty kicks Geelong second, 2 straight 12. Port Melbourne are yet to score. Almost 5 minutes gone here at Adcon Stadium. I can also report a second goal for the Bombers. Heath Hawkins, 2 straight 12. Essendon leading Richmond to yet to score at the Swinburne Centre.
Where is that?
The Swinburne Centre. Peter Mercado, half-time score can now be confirmed from the VU Whitten Oval. 6-5-41 apiece.
Fast start for the Cats, but just repeating, Stoney, the breeze going to that end of the ground.
Yeah, about a 3 to 4 goal breeze.
So they want to make the most of it. Ball back in the middle. Everyone getting back into the 6-6-6 formation. Grandstand filling up nicely. The Norm Goss stand at Port Melbourne as the umpire steps in now. Michael Pell. That's a beautiful bounce. When almost eluded him. Zach Smith into the ruck for Geelong as the Cats look to push forward. Jones had the ball fisted away from him, but they've still got some opportunities here. No, turnover, and the Borough look to push forward. A 2-on-1 contest when getting back, but in the end it was Lyle, a long way from home, taking the mark. He's 70 from goal, but he's just going to put it into the forward pocket. A lot of holding going on. There should be a free player. It's Rivet. He's kicked into the player in front of him. That was Clark. And again, it's been picked up and turned over, and Eli Templeton puts it through, and the Borough are on the boards.
Yeah, really good response there from Eli Templeton. Snap on goal for a goal. Class player.
He's 13th for the season, 2 straight 12, plays 1 straight 6. And if you're watching our video stream, you're seeing a replay of it now. It fell to Rivet. They had a bit of space, but his kick was too shallow. It eventually bobbled off hands into the arms of Eli Templeton, who wheeled around and kicked the goal. Great stuff for Eli Templeton, and the Borough are away.
Having a good year, 4th in the VFL for disposals and number 1 for kicks. Is Eli Templeton. I think he sometimes is the preferred kick intaker, so that can sometimes skew your kick stats, but having a great year nonetheless. He got the job done in the attacking forward 50, and Port Melbourne on the board as Constable is going nowhere. The umpire calls for a secondary ball up. His umpire Paul Rebishini. Just outside the circles here. Perfect day for football at Adcon Stadium. Winner advances to the semi. Loser can start thinking about season 2020. It's a hot ball here. Tackle is laid by Blake Pearson. We have another stoppage. around the grounds. A half-time score where scores are level between Footscray and Williamstown. Essendon have 3 goals on the board against Richmond. That is a qualifying final. Very good start for the Bombers there, potentially against the premiership favourite. We are inside 50 here for the Borough, but quickly Henderson clears out and bending down. It's a big frame to get down there, but Zach Smith did well. Sends the kick out wide. Guthrie. Cats utilising the Goss stand side. Fogarty. Little kick forward. That's okay. Mark's taken by Parsons. Chips one in toward the pocket. Good fly by Kruger. Guthrie couldn't gather it from the crumb. And Menegola was forced out of play. Boundary throw in inside 50 for the Cats. They lead by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, we've gone 8.5 minutes in this opening quarter. Elimination final action. Hardjacker Totally Workwear VFL Live on SEN2. We'll be on the main channel tomorrow for Werribee and Box Hill. And also video streaming a replay of this game. Ball through the hands of Blair. No one could pick it up cleanly. Buzzo did, but he had the ball stripped from him completely. And it gets the kick away for Port Melbourne. We work to the Goss stand side again. Straight to Jarvis, who's right near the boundary line. He goes over, and it will be thrown in. He was under pressure from Lyle. And the umpire says, give it to me, we'll throw it in on that grandstand side. And the grandstands will be filling up nicely over the next couple of weeks. When going to work with Smith. Well, Smithy got the tap down, a high tackle. It's going to be a free kick going Port Melbourne's way. As eventually everyone untangles themselves, and Jared Blair gets to his feet and he can get on with it. His kick up the line. Through sets of hands. Noah could take the mark. Now the Cats through Guthrie. Kick towards centre wing, and it's been turned over again. Picking that ball up is Ryan Pendlebury. Pendlebury stuck on centre wing, short of options, decides to go up the line. His kick going big, but it's going to be turned over again, and the Cats just locking it down nicely. Constable takes it.
It's had a good start. Charlie Constable been involved a fair bit early. Right football goes down the line. It's the Goss stand side of the ground. There was plenty of red and blue at the back here, and an easy mark taken by Harvey Hooper. Normally goes with the fluoro greens, but he's wearing the old-fashioned black boots today. Decides to take on the man on the mark, who is Wiley Buzzer. Sends the ball down the line. It was in Tom O'Sullivan territory, eventually well picked up by Pearson. But he'd go inside 50, and it's a good hit. Mark taken by Matt Signorello.
What a great name, Harvey Hooper. That's a sensational name.
2 last names?
Yeah, that's a great name, I reckon.
Matt Signorello. Have you ever heard of Matthew as a last name, Stoney? Could that be Matthew as a last name, a surname?
No.
Yes.
Any Matthews out there? Give us a tweet, let us know. Signorello kick on the way. It's across the face. That's our first blemish show of the day. 1-1-7 Port Melbourne. Geelong 2 straight 12, 11 minutes gone. First turn.
You mean
sudden death footy here in the finals for the Hardjacker Totally Workwear VFL.
Matthew, not Matthews? You mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Single.
Yes.
Grab.
Oh, it's a great mark. Henderson kicked it and Ford took the mark. He got the big jukes up and he took a sensational grab. The ball again on the Goss stand side. McLaughlin's got it. He goes with a shorter ball. Constable forced to wheel around and goes with a high one. Has the mark been taken? It has on that outer side. Or on the grandstand side by Reed. And his kick's going to go deep inside the 50. They fly. Who's there to crumb? Plenty of hands getting to it. Woofenden just shot the handball out. Now they share it around. Working hard is Pendlebury. Oh, didn't quite find its target in Hooper. And it rolls over the boundary line and we'll have it thrown in.
Pete, just hold your horses over here. One of the coaching staff for Port Melbourne is Anthony Anastasiou. Big red, little red.
Oh, I know. It's been a flat season from my point of view that he hasn't actually been out there, the igniter, but maybe he could lead into premiership success from the coaching benches. You never know. Ball tapped down. No one can get clear. Trying to bullock his way through. Tom O'Sullivan for Port Melbourne just shot the handball out, but it's been turned over and it's going to be out of bounds, off hands. We'll have it thrown in. 25 around, it's 30 around from the Geelong goal. They lead this 2 straight 12. Port Melbourne 1-1-7. 12 and a half minutes gone in this opening quarter, repeating at halftime at VU Whitten Oval. 41 apiece, and a good start for the Bombers. 3 straight 18, plays Richmond no score.
Captain Aaron Heppel, the most recent kicker there at the Swinburne Centre. Ground level ball, good tackle there by Templeton. A downfield umpire has paid a free kick. The play did sort of move on from the initial contest. It was high contact, and Michael Powell is paying. Looks like it's going to be
over the shoulder
for Geelong, I think. There's no cat there to claim.
Fogarty is going to take the free kick.
Not sure Lockie Fogarty knew it was going to be his ball. So a Geelong free kick. Did kick a goal very early in this game. That was on the run. So correct if I'm wrong, gentlemen. This is the first Geelong set shot for the day.
Hand goal post, Vince. Left-hand goal.
So that breeze blowing toward the Norm Goss stands, toward the canteen, well populated. So it would have to be the left goal post here that Fogarty targets. The right football is on the way. Doesn't make the distance. It gets just behind the goal square. It's cleared away. Is that deliberate?
Oh, have to be every day of the week.
It is. I think it was Mark Rivet who tried to, no, it was Van Noonen, in fact, that tried to just get the ball out of defensive 50, but it is delivered out of bounds. So a free kick now. Same pocket, but opposite side for Zach Guthrie. Sends the ball inside 50 toward the top of the square. Couple of cats there. McLaughlin tried to come crashing through, but got held up straight away. Very strong tackle by Signorello. Ball up top of the square.
Willie Buzzer telling him to go long into the square.
Love the game final series. Sudden death footy here at Adcon Stadium. Tom O'Sullivan under a fair bit of pressure. Did well to get his hand pass out though. Now secondary tackle. Sam Simpson combining with Fogarty. That results in another stoppage. Mitch Wolfenden, the man that has to pick himself up and give it back to the umpire. Ball thrown up in the pocket. Abbott won the tap down. Templeton wrapped up by Constable. And Abbott as well, a couple of afters.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Powell just wants the boys to settle down. Ball up in the forward pocket.
Just shows you it goes up a gear when we get to finals time. Haratuku in the ruck down to Blair. He's wrapped up in the tackle, going absolutely nowhere. And the umpire says, I'll throw it back up again. Good tackle by Fogarty. Inside 50 for Geelong. Kicking to the left of your radio dial, the left of your screen in this opening quarter. We've gone 15 and a half minutes in the opening term. Trying to pick it up here, Jones. He's wrapped up in the tackle. And again, we'll have it thrown up. It's hard and tough stuff. No one can get clear. Jones picks himself up. The Cats will go to work again. Abbott and Haratuku. Abbott just tapping it behind him. Hooper putting his head over the footy. Can't get a clearance here. Simpson there as well for the Cats. He's eventually dispossessed, and it stacks on the middle again. And for a third time in about 10 seconds, we'll throw it up.
Foreman will be happy with this. They're happy to bottle the ball up with against the breeze. So good defensive work for the Borough defence.
Ball tossed back up again. It was Abbott getting the front spot. Jones making uses of himself near the boundary line, but it does go over. And we will get it tossed in. Just near where the boundary line, the 50 intersect. It's just inside that 50 for Geelong. This should get some sort of clearance happening. There's Abbott again front position. Haratuku just trying to work him under the footy. Abbott with a second go. The falls to the ground. Tom O'Sullivan almost had his head taken off. And he did. The umpire says it's going to be a free kick as they eventually pick themselves up. It'll be the skipper to take the free kick. Borough away.
Hand pass off to Templeton. Low worm burner. Held up by Signorello. And then the follow-up didn't quite work out for Campbell Walker. All of this is happening on the paintwork here on centre wing. Ball up. Oscar Brownless gives the ball back to umpire Pelt. Rucks come over. It'll be Haratuku taking on Abbott. Give the tap to Haratuku. Almost got it down to advantage as well, but the ball just bounced away from Hooper in the end. Attacked inside 50 by Arnott. Bouncing ball. It was a bit of a chaos ball. Cats get back in numbers. Eventually Henderson off a standing start. That ball penetrates almost a half forward. Black dropped the mark, but still a chance for the Cats.
Throw. Is it a throw? Yeah.
Yep. Wiley Buzzer is down. So the free kick here for Port Melbourne, but Buzzer does get back up on his feet now. Van Noonen to take the free kick. Left half back here for Port Melbourne. Straight down the line he goes, over the head of a couple. Good tackle by Wen. And we have a ball up at left half forward here for the Borough.
Playing a good game, Port Melbourne. They're really, really controlling everything around the packs here.
Mark Stone, boundary side for us on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live today. Trying to work his way through Constable. He did manage to release the footy, and they're away the Cats. The kick going up towards half forward. One-on-one contest at the back, Pendlebury, just trying to make the contest. He's got a teammate alongside, eventually get the handball received. All's well that ends well for Port Melbourne, and the kick around will find Johnson. So it was Waddell who's playing deep back for Port Melbourne. The kick up towards centre wing. And his head over the footy is Gasper. And he kicks a long ball into the path here of Lyle, but the boundary line wins out. We'll have it thrown in. He just was tracking that ball, Lyle. He had a little bit of space that he could have run into, but the boundary line was there. We'll have it thrown in just outside the 50 here for Port Melbourne. When working with Clark, it was Clark who got the tap down. Kruger trying to ride the tackle, shot the handball out intended for Parsons, but Tom O'Sullivan got there, paddled towards the boundary line, and we will be thrown in again. Zach Smith just lumbering after it for Geelong. 2 straight 12, Geelong. Port Melbourne 1-1-7. 19 minutes gone in this opening quarter of football. Here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live on SEN2. VFL.com.au, the replay of this game is, again, the Cats trying to get away. Menegola just shot the handball out. It was dangerous. Brownless coming through. He couldn't stick it. Now the Borough applying the pressure, although it's too high. It's going to be a free kick going the Cats' way, and the Borough fans don't like it because it's Scott Selwood.
Who would have thought a Selwood getting a free kick for a high tackle? Inside 50 we go, out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
Working beautifully, Adam.
They'll quickly get it moving, the Cats, from that free kick, but there was no one home, so a boundary throw in. Bob Bonnet, end of the ground. We think it might be the scoring end, but
it is.
Like we normally say, Stoney, we need both teams to bat on the surface first before we judge exactly what the conditions are giving us. O'Sullivan, Tom O'Sullivan, nice tackle. Another stoppage. Around the ground's a very fast start for the Bombers. They have kept Richmond scoreless 4-3-27. Heath Hocking has 2 of those 4 goals for the Bombers. Winner of that straight through to the preliminary final. The loser has to back up next week playing against either Box Hill or Werribee. Now the ball had gone out of play. Tom O'Sullivan got tangled up. Umpire came in just to sort things out. There's been a few minor little spot fights so far. Here's Zach Smith over the top of the ball, being harassed by Shannon Lang. Eventually did get a hand pass out, but the kick forward no good. It's cut off by Tom O'Sullivan. Outside defensive 50. The co-captain went down the line. It was a nice hit. Mark taken by Rivet. Nice crowd here today. There's no excuses. It's a perfect day for VFL Finals footy. Down the line goes Rivet. At the front of the pack was Templeton. Had a good start to the game. Hand pass off. We're inside 50 now for Port Melbourne. Cats get back in numbers. Big fist on the ball there by Reid. The ball's up for grabs here. Gasper just got worried out of it in the ends, and then it's watched out of play by Arnott. Boundary throw in. We are inside 50 here for the Borough. If they can goal, they'll get the lead.
Yep, as we're into time on in this opening quarter. Boundary umpire taking plenty of time. And it's tossed back in now. Oh, it's a shallow one too. Clark and Wen had to move forward. As Clark in position, Arnott 360'd in the tackle. Eventually managed to release it somehow. But the Cats trying to get away. No one can get away cleanly here. Someone just needs to kick it. It's a short kick inside the 50. Now the Cats with numbers. Parsons just shooting the handball out. Going around the body is Jarvis. But he's lost a handle on it. And it goes out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Port Melbourne right near their bench. So it's a bit of a raffle here, but Dion Johnson is the player to take the free kick.
Tell you what, Stoney, the side-by-side of the young Anastasio and Big Crackers Keenan. That's an interesting
he kicks
comparison.
deep into the pocket, and that's a nice mark taken at the back by Zach Smith for Geelong. He sets them going. They're coming to the commentary sides And Simpson's kick is a good one. They've got some run here. Aaron Black, though, fumbled the mark. Eventually picks it up. He's being corralled. He's trying to bring that ball back. He was looking for Nathan Kruger, but instead it went out of bounds on the full, and Ethan Phillips to take the free kick. True centre wing position on our broadcast side for Port Melbourne.
Defensively, they're playing really good game, Port Melbourne, at the moment.
Sorry for stepping on you there, Pete, but I do find that funny when the Igniter stands right next to the Crackers. High ball inside 50. Maybe just outside, in fact. The hand pass comes out. Arnott just gets another chaos ball toward the goal square, but it bounces away from Blake Pearson. Did get a jump on Constable in trying to chase it down. Hand pass for Rivet. Has that gone 15?
Oh, won't matter.
High contact after the
50,
mark anyway, so
50.
I think a mark was paid and a 50-metre penalty. Eli Templeton should not miss and should kick his and Port Melbourne's second.
Gee, that was undisciplined, Stoney.
Yeah, no need for that. He just he had the shot on goal. Now he's got a shot definitely for 6 points.
Did he go 15 though, Stoney?
It doesn't matter.
There's the goal for Eli Templeton. Borough lead 2-1-13. Geelong at 2 straight 12 as we approach quarter time at Adcon Stadium.
And physically, the Port Melbourne side have really given it to Geelong. They're really having a crack the Port Melbourne side. And they'll be pretty happy at the 23-minute mark and a half of this first quarter.
Yeah. 1 point the difference. We'll give you scores from around the grounds in a moment, because I'm sure they're probably back underway now at VU Whitten Oval. As we wait for everyone to get back into position. Won't be too far away from getting this one back underway. Ball in the middle. Even contest. Wen and Abbott going to work in the ruck. Paul Ribachini taking an eternity to bounce the footy. It's brought down. Blair coming through for Port Melbourne. Bursts through the middle. A kick going long inside the 50. No one could take the mark. It's working off hands. Danger, danger. Henderson twisting, turning, trying to get away from the would-be tackler. He's got some players in support, but it might be cut off as Mitchell just trying to clear the area. Instead, he put it back into the congestion. On 50 for Port Melbourne. Rivet goes off the ground. The kick goes high. Henderson can't trap it. Pearson there for Port Melbourne. It goes over the boundary line and we'll have it thrown in. 15 metres around from the Port goal. Kicking to the right of screen, the Fred Cook end of Adcon Stadium. Get some around the grounds in a moment, Adam. See if Essendon continuing that fast start at the Swinburne Centre. The ball spilling free inside 50. Parsons trying to shoot the handball out. Dangerous. Menegola was supposed to be the recipient. Now he's the tackler, and the umpire will throw the ball up.
Tigers finally have a goal against Essendon. Maybe a Chol late in the first quarter. Essendon 4-3-27, leading Richmond 1 straight 6.
25 and a half gone here as Parsons just trying to clear the area. Kicked it into the player in front of him. He'll have another go here at centre half back. His kick is good. No, it's not. It's going to be cut off. Zach Smith was outmarked. That's strange to say, but he was outmarked by Ethan Phillips, who goes with the ball inside the 50, and it's going to be turned over again because the Cats just holding it together nicely, and it's Constable who's taken the mark.
He'll be asked to hurry up, so he goes high long, the drop part down the line. Zach Smith territory. Darcy Fort went up as well, but the man who had it stuck in the midst in the end was big Michael Wen. Gave off the handball, and Pendlebury sends Port Melbourne inside 50. No mark taken by Henderson. Some pressure coming. Signorello with the tackle. The key here was whether there was prior opportunity. Umpire says no.
Well umpired.
Ball to be thrown up left forward pocket here for the Borough. Neither rucks really read that ball well in flight. Tuku was that man for Port Melbourne. A lot of bodies over one Sharon here. It's not coming out easily. Another stoppage. Port Melbourne by points as we approach quarter time.
Essendon 4-3-27, Richmond 1-1-7, approaching quarter time at the Swinburne Centre.
At the VU Whitten Oval, third term won't be too far away. Good smother there that time by Selwood. Still a Port Melbourne ball. Blair was harassed out of it. Another stoppage.
They are underway.
It's hot in the kitchen right now, Peter.
6-5-41 apiece. 2.5 minutes into the third term there.
So that is not a sudden death game, that one. Loser of that has a second chance.
It's going to be a free kick for deliberate.
So we've had one at each end now. Signorello lining up to take this free kick, although there will be a conference now.
Conferring.
It's
The goal umpire might have
it's going to be thrown in.
the neutral result in the end.
Yeah, I wonder what the ruling is about that one, about the ball. The ruckman's hit it towards the boundary, went on the full, and then they conferred and they said, nah, throw it in.
Well, it used to be if it didn't touch anyone's hands, I think.
Anyway.
So the throw-in goes over both rucks' heads, but Menegola does clear out for Geelong with the dump kick. It's McLaughlin over the top of it. Tommy O'Sullivan came out of nowhere. That was Tom, as in number 4, the co-captain.
Showed a bit of speed. Tommy then attacked the footy nicely.
Be careful with that because...
Yeah, be careful, Stoney, because you think another player.
Yeah, you're right. No fear.
Tommy O'Sullivan, the number 43 version, might also go by junior, I think.
He does.
Junior and senior maybe for the rest of the day. Anyway, Haratuku, high left foot ball. Does that stay in play? It does. Ball was socked forward. Cats got back in numbers though. Jarvis did well in the end. Pearson comes crashing through, wins the ball back for Port Melbourne. High ball inside 50, Signorello. Had to do the defending in the end, got a fist on it. Ball's been hugging that pocket for a while now, boundary throw-in. Second goal for the Tigers, it looks like at the Swinburne Centre, Jacob Townsend, 2017 Liston Trophy winner. Has kicked Richmond second.
Ball tossed back in. We've got time for another one. 29 minutes into this opening quarter. There's the tap down. Abbott just trying to tap it to advantage. It's right near the boundary line again. They'll be happy to see it over here. And in fact it is. Or is, yep, it's going to be called a throw in. The grandstand side, it was Reed just trying to get away. And the boundary umpire in the right spot for that one. So we'll have it thrown in again. Breezy conditions at Adcon Stadium here at Port Melbourne. 29 and a half minutes gone in this opening quarter. 13 plays 12, a 1-point ball game. Port Melbourne leading. It's tossed back in. Abbott coming in from the side this time. Reed trying to get the clearance. He was ridden into the turf. The umpire eventually will throw this ball up. 1-point ball game. Heading towards quarter time. Abbott again getting the tap down. Down to Reed. Now into the hands of Clark. He was dispossessed and the Borough go forward again. Big high ball again crashing the pack. No one could take the mark. It's right near the boundary line. Little chipping kick into the forward pocket. Not trapped cleanly. It's over the line. Johnson coming forward to just kick that ball off the ground. And another behind added to the total. 2-2-14 plays 2 straight 12. It's Port Melbourne leading on the cusp of quarter time. 30 and a half minutes gone.
Henderson wants to go to the Norm Goss stand side and he goes the short pass.
Port player down behind play.
So play has actually stopped here. Signorello in the hands of 2 trainers as we speak.
Got winded coming off the ground.
The man with the ball is Ben Reed. One of only 5 VFL listed Cats out here today. Play resumes. Reed's kick, right foot. Almost reaches centre wing. No mark was taken, but Cats still have it. Browless did well to get the hand pass out. Simpson into attack here. Over the head of Buzzer. Ball keeps on bouncing. Trying to track it back was Hooper. How to play it goes. Boundary throw in about 25, maybe 30 metres out from the Cats goal. We are in the 32nd minute here. Maybe the Cats have a chance to get a late one before quarter time and snatch the lead back. They did kick the first 2 goals of the game. Haratuku in the ruck here. Hand pass out for Parsons. Chance for the Cats. Constable almost tried to sidestep one potential tackler. That was his 11th touch, by the way. Simpson. It goes out of play. Boundary throwing. So 11 touches now for Charlie Constable. 7 for Parsons. The leading ball getter for Port Melbourne is Tom O'Sullivan with 7.
So the ball to be tossed back in. It's an even contest. Been a lot of throw-ins and ball-ups today. Abbott out marking Haratuku, and it's a high tackle. It's going to be a Port Melbourne free kick. And you don't do that in front of the Borough fans. And Charlie Constable just a little bit too crude there to try and bring Jared Blair down. And he will take the free kick. Inside defensive 50 for Port Melbourne. His kick going long. It beats the initial pack. And it's going to come straight back in again. Henderson kicking up towards half forwards. It goes near the boundary line and we'll have it thrown in as Jared Blair not liking the attention he's been receiving. And Simpson, they're targeting young Sam Simpson, the rookie. He's given away the free kick, the Cats player. And it'll be Tom O'Sullivan to take the free kick. Oh, walking over there. Charlie Constable was shaping to pick up the footy and then just walked away again. Oh, nice to see a bit of feeling in it as O'Sullivan's kick. Tahara Tuku takes the mark. It's backward of centre on the Gostan side on the wing. He looks up. He's not sure which way he wants to go, so he's just going to go straight up the line.
My ball.
Yeah, and it's going to go out of bounds on the full. And Henderson to take the free kick for Geelong.
I really think Paul up. Time's down just for the clock at 33, Pete.
They've just got to wind it down, you reckon?
Yep.
As the kick goes up the line. Trying to crash his way through was Darcy Fort. Couldn't take the mark cleanly. It's over the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in. 33, almost 34 minutes gone. And it's quarter time at the Swinburne Centre, Adam.
4-3-27, Essendon leading Richmond 2-1-13. We'll see if there is any kind of breeze that's affecting things there at the Swinburne Centre. You know, the VU Whitten Oval seems to have a scoring end today. Ball eventually does come out. This long quarter continues. Arnott, nice hand pass out. Kick toward half forwards, effective as well. Mark taken by Campbell Walker. Too far out to score. It's a very high ball, this one. It's going to land at the top of the square. Tommy O'Sullivan was lining up. Couldn't take the mark. It was fisted away in the end. Gasper trying to win it back. Picked up by Lockie Henderson. He was tackled straight away by Wen. Now we have a ball up. Another tackle laid by Cooper Stevens. He's the 23rd man for the Cats today. We are 15 seconds away from the 35-minute mark here. Timekeepers have fallen asleep. Out of nowhere, it's a shot on goal.
Hit the post.
Out of the chaos, there was a number of players, but it's a minor score in the end. So that moves Port Melbourne to 2-3-15. Geelong 2 straight 12.
As Guthrie to bring the ball back into play. Going straight up the guts, finds Parsons. He's still inside defensive 50, centre half back. His kicks, a flat one into the middle of the ground. Clean bowls a couple of them. Menegola trying to get himself into position. Now the kick going inside the 50. It's a fairly open 52. Getting hands to a Kruger, but he couldn't complete the mark. The ball tracking to the line. And will this count as a behind? No, it shouldn't, because the siren went before that kick or the ball got away. So that is an interesting quarter of football. It is quarter time here at Adcon Stadium in Port Melbourne. And it is Port Melbourne leading 2-3-15 to Geelong, 2 straight 12, a 35-minute opening quarter. And we'll go through the goal kickers to quarter time. 2 for Eli Templeton for Port Melbourne, and the singles for Geelong, Buzzer and also Fogarty. Fairly even contest this one, breezy conditions at Adcon Stadium. And we'll take a break. Stoney will be in the huddles at quarter time. And we'll get this second quarter underway. But first, before we do that, very quickly, around the grounds while we got the opportunity, Adam.
So Footscray by a point over Williamstown early third term, 6-6-42. Bulldogs Seagulls 6-5-41. And it is quarter time at the Swinburne Centre. Essendon a good start, 4-3-27. Richmond 2-1-13.
And a break. And on the other side of the break, we'll get into all the second quarter action. Stay with us. Plenty more still to come from Port Melbourne. It's a 2-point lead to Port Melbourne at quarter time here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work. Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place.
It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
Buy a digital radio.
head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 11:16 SEN.
It's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Where it is quarter time here at Adcon Stadium in Port Melbourne, and it is a 3-point lead to Port Melbourne. 2-3-15 playing Geelong 2 straight 12. Peter Mikado, Adam Sarakoglu and Mark Stone with you on SEN2 and our video streaming replay through VFL.com.au. As we're going to take the opportunity to go around the grounds. We'll get some stats to quarter time in just a moment as well. But they're into the second quarter at the Swinburne Centre. 2 minutes in, 4-3-27. Essendon leading Richmond 2-1-13. And at VU Whitten Oval, it is the Seagulls, Williamstown, 7-5-47, leading Footscray 6-6-42.
Gary, just first quarter, a lot of pressure. Boys, good footy.
Pretty happy so far, Stoney. I reckon they've been really, really good. We wanted to bring some table. Obviously, Geelong are a pretty good side, but it's a final. So, yeah, so far we're doing what we want to do.
Concentration, obviously, in the second quarter. You got the breeze, a bit of a breeze, so a bit of attack there.
Yeah, but you don't want to give the game away, as in just thinking you got the breeze. You still got to have some purpose and method, mate. Good on you, mate.
There you go, Gary Ayres, the great Gary Ayres joining Mark Stone here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. Great to see the great man out here. He's done so much for football here at Port Melbourne.
And so is Gary Ayres as well, of course. Geelong Huddle's just breaking up as well.
Yes.
Some stats?
Yes, give us the stats to quarter time.
Charlie Constable leading ball getter on the ground with 13-10 for Jim Parsons, 7 for Lockie Henderson, then 6 each for Menegola and Selwood. For Port Melbourne, 8 for Tomo Sullivan, 6 for Matt Arnott, then 5 each to Gaspar, Haratuku, Templeton and Wen.
All right, so the crowd making their way off the ground. A lot of climbing of fences going on. Does take a little while to clear through the small gates here at Adcon Stadium, Stoney.
Yeah, Gary was just in that quarter time huddle, just talking about just the pressure every time Geelong get the ball, he wants to pressure the player, and they've done it to the letter in this first quarter. That's why they lead the moment against the Breeze. So Geelong will try and get their outside run going. It'll be whether Port Melbourne can go with them and put pressure on for the 4 quarters.
Some team stats to quarter time. Relatively even across the board. A few more handballs for the Cats over Port Melbourne, but Port Melbourne leading kicks by +9 marks at 12-15. Port Melbourne's way, the tackle counts even at 26 apiece inside 50s. Port Melbourne had 16 in the first quarter. Cats had 9.
All right, we're getting set for a start for the second term. Umpire holding the ball aloft. It is a 3-point lead to the Borough. Away we go in the second quarter.
When to do battle. Once more with Abbott. You've got to jump on when that time. There is a whistle coming from downfield. There's a hold.
Free kick, Port.
You can see who's going to claim the free kick here.
Why was there no advantage then? Because the play continued on. They had a clear advantage there, Port Melbourne.
Eli Templeton, he will claim this ball from the middle of Adcon Stadium. Boots it inside 50 here. They did lead that inside 50 count. That's a good mark by Jordan Lyle. This year's Frosty medalist can have a shot, slide angle from about 35 metres, I'd say.
If you ever want a player to have the ball in front of goal, this is the... There we go.
40 goals for the year for this year's Frosty Miller medalist. Spent time on AFL lists at both Hawthorn and the Brisbane Lions. Shot on goal. And he almost shinned that one, Stoney. That did not come off the boot very well at all, and he missed to the near side.
See the Breeze there, take that.
As Guthrie will do the kicking in, finds Henderson in the back pocket for Geelong. And they're just going to do this inch by inch. Jarvis has it. Still haven't exited the 50, Geelong, on the grandstand side of the ground. Called to play on now, Jarvis. So he kicks this long ball, heading up towards centre wing. Oh, big fly, almost Waddell. Couldn't bring the mark to ground for Port Melbourne. He's wrapped up in the tackle. The umpire says, give it to me. So the ball to be thrown back up. We'll go around the ground shortly. Have it all over the back of Wen there. Rivet laying the tackle for Port Melbourne. Ball get locked in again. And the umpire will throw it up. Any change to the scores around the grounds, Adam?
Bombers by 13 over Richmond. Williamstown by 3 over Footscray.
Wen gets the tap down, but only as far as Menegola. His handball inboard, finding Constable. His handball's partially smothered. It's near the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in.
So we'll see Geelong obviously trying to bottle the ball up against the Breeze. And
for Port, they want to put the foot down.
Yep.
As the ball's tossed back in. Just body work there from Abbott. Work with Wen. It's going to be taken away, though, by the Borough. And here's an opportunity as Walker's kick to the top of the goal square. Lyle came out to meet it, couldn't take the mark. They're under pressure. Signorello taken around the neck. He's going to get the free kick. And he's going to be on a tight angle. But he'll only be around 15 metres out. But the tight angle is going to be the key. Guthrie just alert for the run around. And now it happens. Cinderello trying to drag it back. It goes across the face of goal. Actually missed everyone in the contest. And eventually will go out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Kruger trying to pick it up. Didn't know where it was in the end. And we'll have it thrown in. 2-4-16 Port Melbourne, 2 straight 12 Geelong. We've got a 4-pointer. Early stages of this second quarter. As eventually it spills free. Here's an opportunity now for the Borough as it goes into the opposite forward pocket. Now leading in the race, McLaughlin for this one for the Cats. His handball over the top, goes through hands. It's going to come back in again, you would think. Cinderello picked it up, but he ran out of real estate. And we'll have it tossed back in. On the other side of the ground now, we've played almost 4 minutes in the second quarter. And it is a 4-point lead to Port Melbourne.
Not quite the highest scoring shootout Stoney was after just yet, but it is close here at Adcon Stadium. Going nowhere is Abbott. Was tackled by about 3 Borough players in the end. Eventually the ball did come out. Buzzer does well. Gets his hand pass off, but Parsons just left it behind. Blair with the tap on. It's very effective. Templeton, Rivet, the hand pass off. Promising build-up. It's Lang. Inside 50 we go for Port Melbourne. 3 to deal with though for O'Sullivan. Lyle from the impossible angle misses.
Gee.
Promising build-up for a disappointing result. 2-5-17 Port Melbourne, Geelong. 2 straight 12. We are 4.5 minutes in. Around the grounds, looks like the Bombers have kicked another goal. Mark Bagley. So 5-3-33 Essendon, Richmond. 2-2-14.
Guthrie goes with a long kick outside the 50. It's taken off the pack. Now an opportunity for the Cats. As Selwa gets the handball in. Jones works back with him as now the kick heading up towards centre half forward for Geelong. Hooper comes out to meet it for Port Melbourne. Slips the handball out and eventually works in the hands of Conway. And he couldn't quite pick it up cleanly, is he? Now we've got a scrimmage again in the middle of the ground and the umpire will throw the ball up. Good tackling pressure, Dion Johnston.
Bit of funneling from the Geelong Cats there.
There it was. Still in an attacking position for the Cats. Abbott couldn't quite take it cleanly from the ruck contest. Jones trying to put his hand in there. Lang going to be wrapped up in the tackle. Ping folding the footy.
Tried to break the tackle there, the Port Melbourne player.
And so Scott Selwood looks like he's going to be the recipient of the free kick. The player on the mark's 52 metres out. So Selwood will just put it to the top of the goal square. Plenty of tall timber down back, though. Here's Ford, picks it up for Geelong, and he kicks the goal. Well, Darcy likes playing against the Borough. He kicked 6 goals during the season when these two teams met, and he's added another one to his total, up to 23 for the season. And the tall timber around the front, Stoney, for Port Melbourne. They have front position, but Ford just stole it. A player you know reasonably well.
Yeah, spent some time before he went at Werribee, before he went to South Australia, come back, was a Geelong Falcon, so he's done a bit of a roundabout and come back to the Cats, and really well played there, like a small man, took the ball out of the air, just got through the pack and kicked the goal, so well done to Darcy Ford.
Around the grounds, a second goal for Aaron Heppel. Bombers are starting to really break clear of Richmond's here, 6-3-39. Richmond 2-2-14. The Tigers were to minor premier.
But tight at VU Whitten Oval, though. 2-point lead to the Seagulls.
7-5-47.
Third quarter there.
To 6-9-45. That game did start just an hour and a bit before this one, so we'll be able to give you a final score from that one as this game develops. The loser of that plays the winner of this next week. It's Clark's kick toward half forward that comes off the side of the boot. It's Jordan Clark, and did take a bounce, I think, Stoney, before it went out of play. So boundary throw in. Our man Mark Stone. Just a stone's throw away from this one. Silence, thank you. When? Going nowhere.
What could you possibly add to that?
I thought Stoney had something lined up.
I was actually laughing inside, Adam.
Yes, we all were. Umpire throws it up. When, again, does the dance with Zach Clark. Eventually Simpson picks up the loose ball. Hand pass to Keneally. Gets up towards half forward, but Hooper does well. Takes the relieving mark for Port Melbourne.
HH they keep calling.
H squared.
W squared's having a good day at the VU Whitten Oval. Had a very high disposal count in the first half of Williamstown. We go down the line. Of course, since he arrived at Williamstown, W squared's now W cubed. More silence, I think. As,
I had to think about that one for a second.
Selwood tried to escape with the ball. Something had happened behind play between Guthrie. Is that Mac Rivet there, Stoney? No, it's Arnott. Quickly gets on with it. High left foot ball, inside 50 for the Borough. In Lyle territory, it comes off hands. Out of play we go. And another boundary throw in. Not too surprised, Stoney, to see that a lot of play is hugging this pocket, given what the wind is doing here at Adcon Stadium.
Geelong, it's a defensive side, so...
Ball tossed back in. Trying to get hands to it there was Lyle, picking it up Clark and just working towards the boundary line and taken over Keneally. We will have it thrown in. Played almost 9 minutes in this second quarter. It's a 1-point lead to Geelong. Low scorer, 3 straight 18 plays, 2-5-17. But it's the Bombers with the early edge over the Tigers at the Swinburne Centre. Second quarter action there as Henderson's wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire said too high, Eli Templeton. And so the free kick will be given away. And you can hear the words corridor, corridor, but Henderson decides to hug the grandstand side again, looking for Jones. Mark not taken. Hooper swoops in, handball over the top, finds Rivet, closes to 50, puts the ball up right into the hot spot, but coming through, a nice Mark Hunstable. He read the play beautifully. And he was the one that went out on the lead, as if he was the forward. Oh, it's a little short kick. It's not going to be good, though. Gasper handball back out. Off a step, Rivets kicks up. Inside 50, no one can take the mark. Guthrie being hung onto and tackled over the line. We'll have it thrown in right next to the behind post.
Good spot for Port Melbourne here. Stoppage players, where are they? Where's Jared Blair? Where's Mark Rivet?
Coming up to the 10-minute mark of this second quarter. It's a 1-point lead to the Cats. Ball tapped down there by Smith. Just hacked out Mitchell to get hands to it for Geelong. Very casual as he got to the boundary line.
Off the knee.
And we'll have it thrown in. It did come off his knee, but that was the only direction he was going for, Stoney. So we'll have it thrown back in. A 10 around from the behind post for Port Melbourne. Low-scoring contest. Cleared out. Arnott goes around the body. Too much. He dragged it around and scores a level. It's Port Melbourne 2-6-18, leading Geelong 3 straight 18. 11 minutes gone in this second quarter.
Henderson goes short to Mitchell. Buried deep in the back pocket here for the Cats is Cal Mitchell. Now, it's the long ball down the line. Does clear defensive 50. It fell away at the back and a good mark taken by Black.
Just keep an eye, Stoney, on Jake Gasper for Port Melbourne. Looks a little bit proppy in the middle of the ground.
Black's kick a little shallow toward the wing. Simpson picks up, does well. Constable's had a good day so far. His hand pass was cut off, though, by Big Khan Haratuku.
Who's actually gone into the fence in this quarter.
Relieving Wen in the ruck as well. Parsons does well, picks up for the Cats. Handball intended for Buzzer. Just got held up, though. O'Sullivan picks up for Port Melbourne. Good hand pass off, but it's coming back in. Mark taken by Zach Clark. Zach Smith, sorry, goes inside 50. Abbott was there. A number of players around this. Ball up. I know Zach Clark somewhere, but he's not wearing number 9 for the Cats. I know that, Peter.
No. You think you're Jordan Clark, number 6. They're right side by side on your team sheet there. As Templeton grabs it from the ruck contest, he goes around the body trying to clear the defensive pressure and eventually spills free. Well done, Pearson, as the handball heads into the middle of the ground. Wolfenden onto it. His kick will go short and Cingarello takes it. Just on the edge of the square. His kick long and across the ground. Here is Gaspar, the ball taken away from him. Another opportunity, though, for the Borough. Jones did really well for Geelong, but still couldn't stem the tide. Working hard there, Hugh Johnson for Port Melbourne. Handballs towards the line and will be thrown in.
Who would have forgot that Mitch Wolfenden in their grand final a couple of years ago? Streaming towards goal and kicked a goal. It was a great play to play.
He's been a Borough favourite over the years, Stoney. We have tracked his progression from Oakley through to here. Haratuku gets the better of the ruck contest on 50 here for Port Melbourne. The ball held up and the umpire says, give it to me. It's a low scorer, but still long quarters. 13 minutes now into the second. We expect another 30-minute quarter here plus with all the stoppages. Haratuku again gets the ball down, trying to work his way through was Blair, who was ridden into the turf. It's holding the footy and it will be a turnover. Turnover to Sam Simpson, the Geelong rookie. Played every game this season for the Cats.
Right foot ball down the line, looking for Buzzer. No mark taken. Templeton sends Port Melbourne back inside 50, and the mark taken by Jared Blair.
Now, you'd think that Jared Blair would love a shot on goal here. He loves a goal, you know.
Bit of push and shove, though, going on. Izzy Conway, Parsons getting involved.
For the first time today, it looks like the Dogs are in front of the VU Whitten Oval there, Peter.
Yes.
4-point lead. Bombers by 19.
That have the Breeze will know the Footscray side in this quarter, I reckon.
I believe so, yes. Jared Blair right now, all eyes on him here at Adcon Stadium. Icons for the grand final. Adcon, Icon. Jared Blair Just inside 50. Kicks on the way. That was off the side of the boot, and there was never a chance of going that far right to left. So a minus score. They're peppering at the moment, Port Melbourne.
I have him as not kicking a goal this season, Jared Blair, in his 14 games. I could be wrong. Oh, the kick in is not the greatest. Players going down like 9 pins. We're still inside 50 here. Gasper brought down. No call from the umpire. It's desperate stuff from the Cats to try and clear it. Buzzer throwing his weight around. Gets it back. Working hard. There is Simpson. His kick around the body. Dangerous. There's a clash right in the middle over on the grandstand side. It's a good contest. The umpire will call a stalemate. Darcy Fort came hurtling in. There's a bit of push and shove going on as well.
Jones and Fort went clash straight into each other, the two Geelong boys.
Yep. Oh, we're seeing a replay of it too. It was hard stuff. It was friendly fire. The Cats, though, will press forward from the ruck contest. Just handballing over the top of him, just pushing in front of him is Ford. Brought down. Gosh, player dived over the top for the Borough over Darcy Ford.
Kruger down for the Cats.
As Johnston's kick looking up towards half forward here for the Borough. Guthrie getting in the way, but it's been turned over again. Here's an opportunity. The long ball from Pearson. Is the mark being taken? Yes, it's a juggler. It's a juggler, but it is okay. Cigarello takes it. Good transfer of the footy. Any injury concerns, though?
Kruger coming off. He's in trouble with a shoulder injury. Just looks okay. Could be a stinger, but Kruger off the ground.
All right, he had to come a long way forward there, Cigarello, to try and capture that footy, that mark. But he'll kick pretty much directly in front. And he'll kick from 45 out. Steps inside the 50. Punches it home. 3-7-25 Port Melbourne. Geelong 3 straight 18. We've gone 16 in the second. Hardjacker Totally Workwear VFL live today.
Just obviously Nathan Kruger getting some attention from the doctor and the physio in the dugout here, but really well played by Blake Pearson. Centred the ball and really good mark by Cingerella, and he's been a really good player today. Just there's smaller players in Rivet, Pearce and Cingerella. They're Blair also there, but that's the one Tom O'Sullivan been really instrumental in the Port Melbourne lead.
Let's go around the grounds, Adam, because it's all happening at the Swinburne Centre for the Bombers.
They are flying. Aaron Heppel now has 3 goals, 8-4-52. Essendon over Richmond 3-2-20.
Arnott and Selwood going to work here just before this ruck contest.
So with the harder nuts on the ground there. Bounce almost escaped the circles. Here is Selwood burrowing in as he always does. Simpson under pressure. Brought down. Did not dispose of it. Free kick for Eli Templeton. Having a good day in the middle is Eli. We go inside 50 for Port Melbourne. Looking in the sun. No mark was taken. Good pressure by Signorello. Little tap on by Rivet. But we have a ball up. Good tackling pressure there. Sorry, Stoney, by Cooper Jones.
Kruger gone up the race. Just to have a look at that shoulder. So he's gone up the rooms.
4 on the bench for Geelong for the time being. Of course, we have 5-man benches here in the VFL.
Smith.
Zach Smith to take the free kick. Just on defensive 50 here, left half back. Pokes one over the top. Invites Wiley Buzzer to come to it, and he takes the mark as Buzzer. Left foot worm burner down the line in front of Mark Stone towards half forward. It's an effective ball. And a very good mark is taken by Black. In front of the Port Melbourne bench. Right foot ball by Black. Cats inside 50, only one man goes up for it in the end, and it's Lang who picks it off for Port Melbourne.
Yeah, he's looking around, trying to assess his options. 25 plays, 18. Port Melbourne leading. Boys in this quarter, 18 minutes gone, and now it's turned the footy over. The kick goes in, it's a quick transferal, and it's a mark for Oscar Brownless. The turnover was on. And nice work from... It was Zach Smith who kicked the ball back in. And we'll see what Oscar's got. Just had all the time and all the space there from the turnover. The kick needed to be precise. As we see Oscar Brownless, 6 goals in 17 games this season. Steps inside the 50. Pretty much directly in front. Deliberate approach, closes to 40, kick on the way is a goal. Oscar's got one. And the Cats, straight kicking continues. They've got 4. They're 4 straight 24, trailing Port Melbourne by 1 point, 3-7-25. We've gone 19 minutes in this second quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live as we go around the grounds. And at the Swinburne Centre, it is the Bombers. A452 leading Richmond 3-2-20, 23, almost 24 minutes gone in the second quarter there. Three-quarter time at VU Whitten Oval. It's Footscray 7-9-51 leading Williamstown 7-5-47.
Yeah, good close contest, that one. But both sides actually going really well. They're putting a lot of pressure on each side. That's why low scores are here today.
Another careful bounce routine, this time from umpire Michael Pell. Good bounce in the end. Wen did well. Templeton's having a good day. O'Sullivan sends Port Melbourne inside 50. Just bounced away from Tommy O'Sullivan. The hand pass off. Pearson one way to the other, then lost it. Good pressure by the Cats in the end. Good hand pass out by McLaughlin. Selwood down the line, wobbling ball. Gets cut off by Johnston. Gets around one tackle. That was Brownless. Johnston left foot ball inside 50. Going up are a couple of Borough players. One of them was Walker. Boundary throw in. Inside 50 here for Port Melbourne. Good close game of football here. Elimination final. Win or go home here at Adcon Stadium today. Umpire throws it in. Port Melbourne are looking good. They should be leading by more. They have peppered their goal. Here's Templeton. Gets away from Brownless. Left foot's on the way. Just across the face. And a rush behind in the end. For the Borough, 3-8-26. Geelong, a 4 straight 24. We are into time on of this second term.
Guthrie runs out of the goal square and will kick towards defensive 50 to a 2-on-1.
Nice mark.
And that is a great mark by Parsons. He was the one for Geelong. His kick up towards centre wing is a dangerous footy. Being almost 360 there was McLaughlin. They've still got the footy here, the Cats. And that's the amazing thing is Jones goes for a run, has a couple of bounces, lowers the eyes, kicks into the pocket and spots up Fogarty, who takes the mark. He's tight on the boundary line. As he wants to go on the curve, he's just going to pop the ball up. It's a high one. Rivets! Is he going to be paid the mark? Mark or free kick? What's going on here? The umpire's saying mark, so it has to go all the way back to him, Mac. Gee, that was a solid mark under pressure, Stoney.
Pretty size, that was amazing.
His kick. Outside defensive 50. They want to get something going here. Van Oonen gets his hands on it. Don't call too much of him today, but the kick going up the line. Lyle getting into position. Fist coming in from Jarvis, and we'll have it thrown in on true centre wing position on the grandstand side. 4 straight 24 Geelong, trailing Port Melbourne 3-8-26. We've gone 22 minutes in this second quarter. Half time, we're actually going to hear from Jordan Lyle after winning the Frosty Miller medal for the leading goal kicker in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL season. Menegola has it though for Geelong. His kick up towards 50 is a good one. And it's Buzzer who's got it. He goes short, and Brownless comes in and takes the mark. Now, he should go back and have a shot. And that's exactly what he's shaping to do right now.
Geelong is starting to get their running game going on the outside, and that's what Gary was concerned about, just allowing Geelong to get on the outside. And Port Melbourne have done really well at this point, keeping pressure on that.
So we'll see whether Oscar can make something happen here. He kicked a goal in this second quarter.
Left hand post.
He's on the 45. He steps into 45. His kick's on the way. It's going to hold up in the breeze and then be rushed over the line. The first behind for Geelong for the game. 4-1-25. They're trailing the Borough 3-8-26. 23 and a half gone in the second quarter.
Phillips' kick almost gets to centre wing. Good tackle laid there by Reid. Does Templeton keep it in? He does, but the tackling pressure came. Well done, Simpson. Reid tried to feed the hand pass out to Mitchell. It goes out of play. Boundary throw in near us. Haven't had too much play on this broadcast side of the ground today. What a day for football it is, Mark Stone.
It is magnificent, Adam.
Boundary throw in. We'll be back here again tomorrow for the other elimination final. That one is between Werribee and Box Hill. Good tackle by Templeton here. And Gaspar came in to help as well, both holding up Ryan Abbott. Right on centre wing here. Ball thrown up. Neither ruck get to it. O'Sullivan releasing handball for Rivet. Watch out. Selwyn couldn't stick the tackle low. O'Sullivan came to help and then ran out of real estate. Boundary throwing.
Wasn't that incorrect disposal though?
I thought from this side, yes.
He didn't really get rid of the football cleanly. He was trying to handball it, but he was only trying to do it with one hand.
Just outside 50 here for the Borough. Umpire brings this in. 1 point ball game. The throwing again fell short. Abbott read it well. Maybe some advice for the boundary umpire picked up by our effects mics on the way through as well. We are at half forward here. Nice handball, Fogarty. Kick toward the square, no one home. Bouncing ball for Jermaine Jones. Picks up now. Hand pass for Parsons. A very high one. Parsons tried to cleverly tap back. Good tackle by Jones, and we have a ball up in the shade of some of the trees behind the Fred Cook goal face. Boundary throw. Ball up, I should say. I think that's what I heard on the way through on the effect.
Yeah,
point.
it was some advice about the shallow throw.
Not the first shallow throwing we've seen today either. Ball thrown up, chance for the Cats here. Is that high contact?
Yes.
It is a free kick going Isaac Conway's way. And he'll send the ball to the Norman Goss stand side of the ground. Aratuku couldn't take the mark. It goes out of play, boundary throw in. Of course, the Norm Goss medal. He's the best on ground in the grand final.
Nathan Kruger, Stoney.
I haven't seen him reappear yet, Pierre, so we'll just check that at half time.
Yep, keep us up to date. That's the only real injury concern at the moment for either team as the Borough look to push forward. Arnott, there's a holding the footy decision going against Port Melbourne, and you can tell that because the fans ain't happy. So it's a long free kick. We've played 26 minutes in this second quarter. And a chance to build again as Jarvis has it on centre wing on the grandstand side, and he'll just try and go as far as he possibly can. The pack comes forwards. Buzzer couldn't take the mark. Spills into the hands of Constable. Handball over the top. He's heading towards the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in. Darcy Fort making a presence down there for Geelong. It's a low scorer, but it's a good contest. We've got half time yet at the Swinburne Centre, Adam. They are working a little bit ahead of us, even though we started at the same time. They have a great tap down for Geelong. Menegola almost had his head taken off. Quick kick out of the pack, heading into the forward pocket. Is there a mark that's going to be paid? It's going to be a free kick and 50 metres too. Well, that was nicely done, because the Geelong player just came forward and Garner Atuku said, no, I'm just going to hold my ground. And he does. We'll get back to that around the ground score in a moment, but he goes long, does Big Khan. They all fly. No one could take it. Quickly taken out of the pack by Johnson. Open goal square. He puts it through. Well, they get to him as well. That's his first of the afternoon. And in a low scorer, an important goal on the cusp of half-time. 4:8:32 Port Melbourne. Geelong 4-1-25. 27 and a half gone in this second quarter.
Long second term at the Swinburne Centre. 32 minutes gone, and we're still going between Essendon and Richmond. 8-4-52 to Bombers. Lead at Richmond 4-3-27. 5 gone in the final term at the VU Whitten Oval. That one's a close one. Footscray 7-9-51. Lead Williamstown by just 3 points, 7-6-48.
As soon as Haratuko got that ball, he knew exactly what he was doing. Set play, took the 50. Big drop punt into the goal square and goal for the Port Melbourne, so well played.
So the Borough have a nice little handy cushion in a low-scoring game of 7 points. Parsons spins away from one tackle, kept his feet and sends Geelong inside 50. It's a penetrating ball. Buzzer got across the face of the contest and eventually it goes out of play. Boundary throw in. 22 touches now for Charlie Constable. Having a good day. Parsons has 15 as well, 13 for Eli Templeton. 10 of those kicks, and he is the leading kick getter in the VFL this season. Simpson with the tackle here. Umpire crosses his arm.
Sorry, Adam. The Seagulls back in front over at VU Whitten Oval. 8-6-54 plays 7-9-51. 6 gone final quarter.
So whoever loses that game will play the winner of this in next week's semi-final. O'Sullivan clears the ball out, and again, the ball just keeps on carrying. We've got a foot race here between Pearson and Guthrie. Neither pick up. Guthrie tried to worry Pearson out of it, tried to get the tap on the Hooper. Was well claimed in the end. I think that was Canelli. Interesting ball in brought by Reed. There was no one there. Signorello's wrapped up. Can't dispose of it. Jarvis was in there. Constable another touch. Good hand pass out. Mitchell clears back towards centre half forward. Bouncing ball picked up by Buzzer. Needs to get around Phillips here. He's under pressure. Then came the second tackler. Signorello did get his hand pass out in time according to the man in green. Good tackle by Blair. Ball up inside the centre square.
The fans up and about too. We like that as well. Here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live, Stoney.
Off the ground just helped by Trina Keneally for Geelong.
Okay, Kenley, thank you for that. As quick kick by Menegola inside the 50 for Geelong. Player lost his footy and coming out Van Oonen takes the mark uncontested for the Borough. Kicks up towards centre wing. He's into the path of the previous goal kicker in Johnson, who handballs over the top. He was looking for Arnott, but just worried out of the contest by Parsons. He's had some quarter, Parsons. Have you got stats for Parsons in this second term, Adam?
16 touches for him, 9 kicks, 7 handballs, 3 marks.
For the game, we've got it thrown in just slightly into attack here for Port Melbourne, who lead this one 32-25. 30 minutes gone in this second term. Ball tossed back in. Haratuku and Smith going at it in the ruck contest. No one can take clean possession. Smith has another go at it. Goes back to Menegola, back to Smith, riding the tackle, ridden into the turf. Managed to release the footy. No free kick to the umpire. Lang swoops on it for Port Melbourne. Gets around the traffic. He goes with a high ball. Oh, Guthrie's got to be careful because Lyle came through like a freight train, and it will be thrown in. Forward pocket here for the Borough. I'd love another one heading into half-time with the breeze in this second term. Half-time yet down at Swinburne Centre?
It is. So Essendon 8-4-52, Richmond 4-3-27.
There's the ball here, quickly released. Lyle had his kick smothered, the ball hacked out for the Cats. Constable once, twice, managed to release it to Simpson, who's equally wrapped up in the tackle, and the umpire will come in and throw it up again on 50. Fans not happy. It will be thrown up on the 50, on the numbers for Port Melbourne.
Bit of advice for the umpire from Jared Blair as well. O'Sullivan, another touch. Tried to get the hand pass out wide. Eventually it does find its way through to Lang. Shots on the way. Siren as the ball's in flight. And it did trickle through for a minor score. Goal umpire is having a conversation. It won't count.
No, they're going to get both flags, so no, that's not going to get a score.
Half-time at Adcon Stadium, Geelong 4-1-25. They are trailing Port Melbourne 4-8-32 in the elimination final.
So in that second quarter, they piled on the behinds, didn't they? Did the Borough. They only kicked the 2 goals, but it was 2 goals 5 in that quarter to 2 goals 1. It's still a tight contest here at Adcon. The margin 3 at quarter time and the margin 7 now at half time. Those watching on the video stream, you will be seeing highlights, second quarter highlights. Remember, we're replaying this game at its conclusion. You'll be able to see a replay through vfl.com.au if you're listening to us on SEN2. But let's go through the goal kickers, then we'll go around the grounds again because things tightening up at VU Whitten Oval. For Port Melbourne, 2 goals to Eli Templeton and singles to Matthew Cigarello and Hugh Johnson, and singles to Buzzer, Fogarty, Brownless and Fort for Geelong. It is Port Melbourne 4-8-32, leading Geelong 4-1-25 as we go around the grounds. What's happening in the final quarter at VU Whitten Oval, Adam?
So 11 minutes into the final term, it's goal for goal between Footscray and Williamstown in the qualifying final. Right now, it is the Seagulls up by a goal. 8-9-57, Footscray 7-9-51. Sam Donnell has 2 goals. Billy Kanakis has 2 for Footscray. Some of the leading ball getters, Mitch Hibbard has 24 for the Seagulls, as does Liam Hunt. Williams has 21 for Footscray. The other game is at the Swinburne Centre, Peter, half-time, and the Bombers are looking good against the minor premier. 8-4-52, Essendon, Richmond 4-3-27. The skipper, Aaron Heppel, has 3 goals, 2 to Heath Hocking, 2 for Connor Menagew from a Richmond perspective, some of the leading ball getters on the ground for the Bombers. 16 for Myers, who does just collect stats for fun here in the VFL, does Myers. 11 each for Heppel, Laguda, Minot and Snelling. For the Tigers, Menadue, as well as 2 goals, has 11 touches. Jackson Ross has 11, 10 for Derek Egmlesi-Smith.
A break. We'll hear from Jordan Lyle, who spoke to the guys on the VFL Hour on Tuesday night, 11:16 SEN, the Frosty Miller medalist, and doing okay in this one. He hasn't kicked a goal yet, but could be setting himself for a big second half. Plenty more still to come. Stay with us. We'll go around the grounds on the other side of the break as well. Let you know what's happening at VU Whitten Oval. It's all next here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear. For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 11:16 SEN.
It's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it, doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Where it is half-time at Port Melbourne Adcon Stadium, and it is a 7-point lead to Port Melbourne, 4-8-32, leading Geelong 4-1-25. Peter Mikado, Adam Sarakoglu, Mark Stone with you this afternoon. As we go around the grounds, it is closing in. They're midway through the final quarter, and what's going on at VU Whitten Oval?
Quite literally, Williamstown have just kicked a goal, Nick Ebinger, and they lead now by 7 points over Footscray. So 9-10-64. Williamstown over the Scray, 8-9-57. So Nick Ebinger now has his second goal of the day. That is 16 minutes into the final term, Peter. So that one is going to go down to the wire. As we know, the Bombers holding a solid lead over Richmond at the
Swinburne Centre.
Thank you. 8-4-52. Richmond 4-3-27.
Just remarkable, Williamstown just continue to just rack up finals appearances. If they win today, another preliminary finals appearance. Just extraordinary, the run that they've had in season 2019 and beyond, in all the years previous to that as well. They are a strong football club. The Frosty Miller medalist for 2019 in the Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL is Jordan Lyle, and he caught up with Sam Hargraves and Anthony Stangetts during the week. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, don't miss it. SEN's VFL Hour. Catch on 11:16 SEN. But Jordan catching up with the guys and pretty happy to have won the award.
On the sporting capital, this is the VFL Hour. Get involved in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Visit vfl.com.au.
Welcome back to the VFL Hour. Anthony Stangetts, Sam Hargraves, as we look ahead to the opening round of VFL finals action. This man will be involved when his side will be at home in their final. Who are they playing, please, Anthony Stangetts?
Playing the Cats.
They are playing the Geelong Cats. This bloke led the league in goals scored, if you don't mind, averaged about 2.2 a game. Absolute superstar of the VFL competition, Jordan Lyle, and Port Melbourne captain has jumped on the phone with us. Hello, mate.
G'day, Sam. Hi, Anthony. Thanks for having me on, guys.
It's an absolute pleasure. Congratulations on a fantastic season. Finals footy again for Port Melbourne. You guys just keep turning up and keep making sure you're at the pointy end of the season.
Yeah, it's great. Good reward, I suppose. This is my 5th year at Port Melbourne, and we've made finals 4 of those. So hopefully we can make a run at it like we did in 2017.
Jordan, congratulations on the Frosty Miller title. You've got a great little system going now with the goal kicking, picking up the award every second year at the moment.
Yeah, it's not bad, I suppose, to finish on top. Not exactly kicking a heap of goals, but it seems to be the way these days. Just got to kick enough to finish on top.
What was it like going into that final round? You set your tally at 40. Did you keep an eye on some of the results in the VFL app across the weekend just to see how a few of the contenders behind you were going?
Yeah, I got down the beach on the weekend, but I did have a bit of a cheeky look at half-time in the Willie and Werribee game and saw that it only kicked 3 or 4 goals between them, so I knew it was pretty safe from there. So I suppose it's good recognition and it's good to finish on top, but that's out of the way now, and we've got much bigger fish to fry.
Now, we know it's always the forwards that get the reward for the leading goal kicker at the end of the season. Who are some of the, I suppose, main men that helped you and led you to that award from the delivery from further up the field?
Yeah, well, over the last few years, it's probably been a combination of Eli Templeton and Tom O'Sullivan. They're probably the main two. And this year we've had Shannon Lane step up and be pretty prolific through the midfield as well. So there's no shortage of good midfielders at the club. We've got Jared Blair, who's just starting to find some red-hot form before finals as well.
Jordan, it's you guys hit a bit of a rough patch probably during the middle of the year where you just couldn't sort of find the form that you're probably accustomed to finding. At one stage, we even thought, gee, I wonder if they're going to be able to scrape into finals. You're able to turn it around in the back end of the season. How do you feel where you guys are placed at the moment heading into finals? Are you playing your best footy yet, or is it still yet to come?
I think it's still yet to come. We did. I think we went undefeated through 8 rounds and then lost maybe 4 in a row, and now we've managed to win a few in the back end of the season, although not sure we've had the toughest draw to finish the year. But at the same time, I suppose we've been tinkering things throughout the year, as all teams have, and we've made a few changes in the last month or 6 weeks as well that we think will hold us in good stead for finals. So I think people can expect to see us finding form at the right time of year, as we so often do.
Jordan, looking at the 2019 version of Port Melbourne, it probably wasn't as many changes down your end of the field as there were down in defence, but they've really been, Aussie's been able to develop that defensive line and find some key players to replace some of the ones that you've lost over recent years.
Yeah, there was a fair few guys leaving at the end of our premiership year in 2017, and then last year as well, and we've almost got a completely different backline to what we've had previously, and a lot of those guys have been guys that have been on our list the whole time. Guys like Lockie Waddell, who was our premiership ruckman, now playing centre-half back. Ryan Pendlebury came to us a couple of years ago. Then we've also put a couple of our gun midfielders back there. Eli's been playing there, Shannon Lang, Harvey Hooper. Because the half-back line is kind of the new midfield in modern footy, and you generate so much drive from there, and it's working wonders for us at the moment.
Looking at, you mentioned getting away for a bit on the weekend. Was that a bonus for Port Melbourne? Obviously, the finals position was secured going into the final round of the season. Was it a bit of a chance to refresh before what could be a 4-week final season for Port Melbourne?
Yeah, it certainly could be. I mean, I could have kept playing quite easily. I would have been happy to, but we've actually had quite a few guys who are touch and go with injury in the back end of the year, so it was actually quite helpful to get some games in the guys back at local footy to make sure they're cherry ripe to play, and then also other guys who have had their own issues were able to get a week off, do a bit of running without having to put themselves through, the arduous task of playing a game of footy. So I think the timing of it was actually perfect for us in the situation we're in at the moment.
Jordan, you have played at the highest level, at AFL level, and you've played VFL, obviously, and now you're at a standalone VFL club. I'd be curious to see what you made of David King's comments the other week when he was a bit fired up about Daniel Wells not being able to get a match coming back from injury because the VFL was their VFL side was having a bye. He believed that meant that the system wasn't working properly and that the whole VFL needed an overhaul. You've been in the unique position of being able to see it from an AFL point of view, from an AFL listed team point of view in VFL level, an aligned team, and then also from a standalone. How did those comments sit with you when you heard them?
Yeah, I just found it a little bit strange. I mean, it was certainly unfortunate for Collingwood that they had the bye that weekend, but the only way he's really going to change that is to make it an even number of teams in the competition so that there's no byes. If he wants to decide which team he's getting rid of, that's fine. If you want to add one to make it even, but the way it is at the moment, there's 15 teams, so there's going to be a bye every week. And there's not really any other way around it. So, yeah, unfortunate for Collingwood, but I don't think there's really too much we can do about that.
We're seeing so many great examples of where people are being drafted out of VFL, whether it be at the end of season draft or we saw a couple in the mid-season draft. And there are people starting to push towards and agitate towards a national reserves competition, which would maybe leave a side like yours, a proud VFL standalone side like Port Melbourne, out in the cold from that. How does that sit with you? Do you think that the system is working well at the moment, or would you be okay if it went back to a national reserves comp and then the VFL continues on with the clubs that can stay in the VFL?
Well, in my opinion, would be I don't think it would be good for the VFL standalone club as it currently stands. I mean, it wasn't good for us when we lost our reserves competition, and what you find is a lot of guys that are playing at VFL standalone clubs at the moment, they either want to get drafted, and we've got plenty of young kids who want to get drafted, or they're senior players like myself who don't want to get drafted, but we want to play at the highest level we can. So you're going to lose pretty much all those guys if you make it an AFL reserves competition, because they'll either the young guys will go play in that AFL reserves competition, or the old senior players like myself will just go play local footy and chase the big bucks, because there'd be really no point in playing in that lower down VFL standalone comp.
Well, there you go. That's Jordan Lyle talking to Anthony Stangetz and Sam Hargraves. The VFL Hour, Tuesday 9 till 10 on 11:16 SEN. A break, the second half next. Also an update from VU Whitten Oval.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act to thrive with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear. For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
It's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
So everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
We're just about set for a start in the second half here. It's a 7-point lead to Port Melbourne over Geelong, to Mark Stone in a second. But first, around the grounds, a final score from VU Whitten Oval.
A win for the Seagulls, and Williamstown will be in the preliminary final in 2 weeks from now. Nick Ebinger kicks 3 goals in the end, including the last goal of the game. They win by 13 points over Footscray. 11-11-77 Williamstown defeating Footscray 9-10-64. The Bulldogs now have to front up in the semi-final next week. They'll take on the winner of our game here between Port Melbourne and Geelong.
Injury update, Mark Stone.
Yeah, Kruger and Kenley for the Cats went off just before half-time. They're back on, Kruger in the forward line, Kenley on the bench. Both okay.
All right, so the second half about to get underway. We'll give you some stats from this one in a moment. We'll also go around the grounds to keep you up to date with what's going on at the Swinburne Centre. But the second half is underway. A narrow lead to Port Melbourne.
So Menegola is going to get the first clearance of the second half and send Geelong inside 50. Just bounced off the shin there of Clark. Now Jones, hand pass out. Selwood's under immediate pressure. Templeton won it back for Port Melbourne. Quick kick out toward the Norm Goss stand side. Bouncing ball. It was Walker just getting a little hand on it. Henderson backs back. Hand pass trying to set up Reed, who runs out of room. Boundary throw in. The other game is at the Swinburne Centre between Richmond and Essendon. Essendon 9-4-58. Richmond 4-3-27.
Yep, so we're keeping a close eye on that one too.
That's a qualifying final as well.
Yeah, both qualifying finals, the other games. This one, elimination final. Wen had it all to himself in the ruck contest. Menegola forced to lay the tackle. Templeton throws up a high ball up to the true centre wing position. They fly. No one could take the mark, but it's in Borough hands again. That should be a free kick. No, said the umpire. Should have been a free kick to the Borough. Menegola's picked it up though for Geelong. Through sets of hands, it's been turned over. Hooper doing everything he can to keep it in his grasp, but Jones took it off him. They set on top of him, and the umpire will throw the ball up. Some stats to half-time, Adam.
For Geelong, 24 for Charlie Constable, 16 for Parsons. Menegola's up to 16 as well. Eli Templeton has 14 for Port Melbourne. Tom O'Sullivan, number 4. Tom O'Sullivan, 13 for the Borough.
Menegola laying the tackle on Arnott. Arnott still managed to get the kick away, but just fisted forward by Reid for Geelong, straight into the path of Hooper. And they got a chance to reset again, the Borough, on the grandstand side. The kick going inside the 50. Haratuku takes the mark near the boundary line. Now, will he be able to get the trip with the breeze, Stoney? That's going to be the question. He decides not to go for the shot at goal. He goes into the pocket. Lyle was pushed in the back and will take the free kick in the pocket.
Well, it was there, fair enough. Good decision, umpire Powell.
Tough angle for Jordan Lyle to deal with, Stoney, but loves threading these sorts of shots. Probably has plenty of practice and training from this sort of angle.
I'll back him in.
These are the ones you practice before you go off the ground. He's just waiting for the Geelong defenders to get in position. The umpire marshalling them. Near the boundary line, he runs around Lyle and kicks a goal. He gets on the board, the Frosty Miller medalist. 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. 5:8:38 Port Melbourne, Geelong 4-1-25 here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
He could have predicted that the way there he's having a shot for goal. Just knew exactly where he was going to play and kick the ball, so good result.
So that lead now 13 points, a game high for Port Melbourne. It's 13 scoring shots to 5, by the way, so they have been a little wasteful. 3 behinds in the first term and then 5. They kicked 2 goals, 5 in the second, did the Borough. Don't be fooled by the surrounds and the home-coloured shorts. They are, in fact, the away team here today. Port Melbourne umpire puts it down, back in the middle. Good bouncing today. Good conditions for it, and we've seen some good straight bouncing. Secondary ball up as Templeton says hello to Sam Simpson.
Forcibly.
Secondary ball up. Well won by Simpson. Left foot ball into attack for the Cats. Again, might have been lost in the sun, although the second grabber works out for Waddell in the end, then kicked it straight into McLaughlin. Turnover. Cats into attack. McLaughlin's kick for the square. No mark was taken there by Clark, although it has been paid, has it?
Front on contact.
You get a free kick. Or Jordan Clark from point blank range for the Cats. So, final scores, a 13-point win for Williamstown over Footscray, which means Footscray plays the winner of this game in front of us right now in the semi next week. Right now, it's all eyes on Jordan Clark from point blank range, who kicks the goal for Geelong. And the Cats move to 5-1-31, Port Melbourne 5-8-38 at the 4.5-minute mark of this third term.
Really important this third quarter for the Port Melbourne Footy Club. Geelong will try and get the ball on the outside. The game will open up. It's whether Port Melbourne can go with the Cats and or whether Port Melbourne can just put enough pressure, keep putting pressure on. Every time the ball is a stoppage, just put pressure and pressure and pressure, build the pressure and have that lead at three-quarter time.
All right, so back in the middle here. Gosh, they're extending the margin. The Bombers 10-6-66 plays 5-3-33. There's a couple of behinds on the board there for the Bombers in the third quarter. How many minutes they played there? About 5.5 in that third quarter. Ball just stripped to the hands of Simpson, and there's a chance here the Borough to try and get away. First, second, third attempt, not bad. Now they look to push forward here. It's Blair's kick inside the 50. Guthrie got a fist to it. It's heading towards the boundary line and will go over. We'll have it thrown in about 15 metres around from the behind post.
Can't beat experience. Jared Blair just worked through traffic then beautifully.
Did. Bright sunshine today. Beautiful Adcon Stadium. Hope you're enjoying the action on SEN2 Live. Now replay on VFL.com.au. Lyle doing some good body work just to get to the front position there. But the ball in the hands of Menegola. His kick was partially smothered. Trying to clear the space is Reid. He's not going very far, and it's over the boundary line. We will have it thrown in. They've locked it in nicely, the Borough.
Yeah, that's the stuff coaches love, the little smothers there, the 1%ers, and Gary loving that.
I think it was Jake Gaspard, a youngster that time, Stoney.
Yeah, it was.
There's the balls to be tossed back in, right in front of the coach's box. And again, Lyle just shoves his opponent out of the way, falls to Templeton. It's a high ball going all the way to the goal line. No mark taken, ball off hands. Johnson was there, little chipping ball from Gaspar. is across the face. In fact, it's inside. Missed from one behind. Just extending the margin. 5-9-39 place. 5-1-31. 6.5 gone in this third quarter. Hard Jacket Totally Workwear, VFL Live.
Zach Guthrie, the long kick in over the head of Buzzer. It keeps on bouncing. Eventually picked up by Parsons, although he was immediately pressured by Hooper. The ball went out of play. Boundary throw in. Almost on centre wing. What's the wind doing at the moment, Stoney?
Yeah, still going to that the end where Geelong are kicking. It's about a 3-goal, but it has dropped away a little in this third quarter.
Don't have a dominant scoring end here at Adcon Stadium as O'Sullivan gets driven into the turf. Good tackle by Simpson. And another ball up. Simpson having a good day defensively. That was his 7th tackle. Umpire throws it up. He might have to do so again. There's nothing coming of that. Tackle number 8 for Sam Simpson.
Another goal to the Bombers.
Got a feeling it was the captain again.
Yep, Aaron Heppel again. He's got 4 goals, 72 plays 33.
Bombers might be on their way, so we could have the top 2 teams on the ladder from the home and away season going down in the qualifying finals. That's how things are shaping. Right now it's Lang, the little deft kick inside 50. No mark was taken. Still a chance for the Borough. Henderson did well. Hand pass out. Kennelly gets his kick away. High ball. Jumping out of nowhere was McLaughlin. He cleans up Tom O'Sullivan and gives away the free kick to the Port Melbourne co-skipper.
And one thing you do not do is clean up Tom O'Sullivan in front of that grandstand.
O'Sullivan to have a shot. It does feel like one.
Very animated here in the grandstand, Pierre.
Well populated as well, Hilly. Stoney.
Sword.
Wrong boundary right.
It's all right. It's all right, Adam. He's only taken it personally. It's fine.
It's a long way. I can't see all the way into that Norm Goss stand, Peter.
What does he need to do here, Stoney?
Hey?
What does he need to do here, O'Sullivan, in terms of the wind?
It's leaving Tom O'Sullivan to his own devices, it seems. No advice for Stoney. Shot on goal now. Tom O'Sullivan. The plant leg was right on 50. Misses near side. 5-10-40 playing 5-1 at 31. We are 9 minutes gone third term. We've lost Stoney for the moment.
I'm here.
He's here. He's around. The wonders of modern technology, is Henderson to bring the ball back in. From the goal square, he just barrels one right to the middle of the ground. Oh, went through the hands of Haratuku. But they've still got the numbers here, the Borough. Just off the edge of the boot goes Phillips. A bit of a foot race. Might be a dangerous one, but it's in the hands of Tommy O'Sullivan Jr. He's on the point of the square defensive side. High kick, and it went high, but it didn't go long. And Selwood takes the mark in the middle of the ground. His kick finds Menegola near the centre circles. The option is Jones on our side of the ground. That's ignored because it's a long kick going deep in towards the pocket. Ball fisted away. Opportunity almost 360 there was Dion Johnston. He's ridden into the turf. Umpire gives him plenty of latitude and says, I'll throw it up. As they eventually separate themselves. 10 minutes gone. 9-point lead, I should say. 9-point lead to Port Melbourne. 40 plays 31. Jacker Totally Workwear VFL Live. Abbott got the tap down for the Cats. Immediately Tom O'Sullivan goes to work to try and release the footy. Is it holding the footy? It is in the end. Constable was the player dragged down, and again the umpire giving plenty of latitude, this time saying the skipper or the co-skipper, you can take the free kick. So O'Sullivan kicks, it misses Rivet. It ends up in the hands of Guthrie, but he runs out of room and will have it thrown in. Still into attack for the Cats, who trail by 9 points, 10.5 into the third.
33-point lead for the Bombers over Richmond, halfway through the third term. The Swinburne Centre. Umpire brings this back into play. Menegola, it's a high ball. It's just going to touch the top of 50 there. Again, Buzzer misreading it in flight. Constable, standing start, was in among a lot of chaos, so Lang won it back for Port Melbourne. Rivet inboard, nice ball for Woofenden.
Wrestle still going on behind play, Adam.
McLaughlin involved in that. Woofenden sent the kick toward the boundary line. The Borough putting together a nice little passage. Mark taken by Lyle. Front of the Geelong bench. Jordan Lyle.
Cigarello, the long option here, calling for it.
In 2 minds at the moment. He's the Port Melbourne co-captain. Lyle, long inside 50. The target was Pearson, but he was the shortest man in the contest, and an easy kill in the end for Cooper Jones. Boundary throw in. Left forward pocket at the Fred Cook end of the grounds here at Con Stadium, bathed in beautiful sunshine today. For this first elimination final of the game final series here in the VFL. Umpire throws it in. Ground level ball. Lyle missed his handball, nowhere near Mitch Woofenden. Rinse and repeat. Another boundary throw in.
Takes a lot of discipline to play the game Port Melbourne are playing. They're just really shutting down every avenue to Geelong, every attack, just the pressure, every stoppage, minute by minute. The old Alan Jeans, just minute by minute footy.
Yep, as the ball's tossed back in, Abbott trying to bring it down. Menegola picked it up. He just hacks it outside the 50. As Buzzer had the ball taken away from him, but he's got a chance to run onto it and got some overlap players as well. That's a big tackle though. Harvey Hooper, excellent.
Selwood's down.
Yeah, the Geelong player in Selwood hasn't moved. Meanwhile, play continues. It might have to stop if he doesn't get up in a hurry. Dragged down again is Simpson of Geelong, and he's pink for holding the footy.
That's what I mean. Minute by minute football, tackle after tackle, pressure after pressure.
It's Jared Blair's going to take the free kick at centre half forwards.
Selwood back up on his feet, all okay.
He'll be kicking from outside the 50.
Against the breeze.
Against the breeze, so don't think he's going to make the trip. Called to play on. He goes with the high ball, though, right into the teeth of goal. Gasper was caught at the back, couldn't take the mark. Oh, under all sorts of pressure there, Abbott. And the umpire says, give it to me. Eventually, everyone will untangle themselves from the contest. Abbott gets to his feet. Got a long way to get up there. The big ruckman, he's straight to work. Getting the tap down. Have they got the numbers here? Around the body goes Constable to high ball. Hooper creating the spill. Set upon by Jones. Ball eventually released. Good tackling pressure again by the Cats. But it's a quick kick out of the pack. Pendlebury up to the top of the goal square. Plenty of numbers. But it's going to be drove there by Walker. Probably had a fraction more time to pick that up. But he hurled it onto the boot and put it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Geelong. Last line of defence.
It was a case of perceived pressure that time for Campbell Walker. So a Cats ball. It is Port Melbourne by 9 points in the elimination final.
Goal to Mabior Chol, bringing...
That should be his third, I think, or...
Yeah, his second. It's now 38 points, actually. I think another goal's been kicked for... Yep, Danny Union's kicked a goal. Responding goal for Essendon.
He kicked the first goal of the game there at the Swinburne Centre. Nice mark taken here by Pendlebury. Experienced head at centre-half back. Takes the mark here, Ryan Pendlebury. If you are wondering, yes, brother of. He goes short to his right. Mark taken by Ethan Phillips. He goes even shorter for Pearson. In front of our main broadcast area, Blake Pearson with the ball.
They're happy to slow the game down, Port Melbourne.
Yep.
They're in control of the game.
They lead it by 9 points. Pearson, a game where goals are hard to come by. They're doing well, but this time it was intercepted by Henderson. Short pass okay for his captain, Aaron Black. Left half back is Black. Pearson on the mark. He's asked to hurry up. He sends the ball towards half forward. Might have been touched off the boot. I think I heard the play on call as the ball was in flight. Hand pass Waddell. Jones comes crashing through. Good tackle, Tommy O'Sullivan. Pass into hard ball to win. Had some help. Now it's Reed. Long range handball out wide. Well picked up. The loose man in space was Constable. Cats go inside 50. Couple of Port Melbourne players collide. Lang there with Waddell. Out the back though, Dion Johnston gets it onto the left and went to a one-on-one. Nice fist on the ball there that time by Kennelly. Now it's Clark when the ball is wrapped up for a ball up. And the home fans happy with what they're seeing at the moment.
Oscar Brownless getting his hands in it as well. Plenty of push and shove from each and every stoppage. That's why we've had long quarters. Ball tossed back up. Plenty of stoppages. Aratuku went to ground. Abbott just threw it onto the boot, into the pockets. And it is out of bounds. It will be thrown in. A little fumble there from Waddell.
Charlie Constable is up to 28 touches.
Round the grounds.
Round the grounds. Bombers by 38, 12-6, 78. Richmond 6-4, 40. Halfway third term.
Ball tossed back in. Earlier a win for Williamstown over Footscray today.
That was a 13-point win.
Wen got the tap down, then followed up his own work. He kicks around the body with a high ball. Buzzer took the mark. He just shoved Phillips out of the way.
He could have a shot at it because he can kick the ball a long way, Wiley.
He can, and this would lift the Cats too.
Left goalpost, Tony.
Left goalpost.
It's only a 9-point ball game, but with all the scoring opportunities Port Melbourne have had, they've certainly had control of it, but that could change. 55 out, buzzer gives it everything. It's going to go across the face for a behind. Their second behind of the game, 5-2-32, plays 5-10-40. We've gone 17 minutes in this third quarter. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live today.
That was like a Richard Hadley, the old players, the old New Zealand bowler, just a little funny step as he kicked the goal in.
Johnston wants to come toward the Norm Goss stand side of the ground once more. Went to a pretty congested situation. Almost a chicken wing sort of tackle there by Zach Guthrie.
Another goal to Butler of Richmond. 78 plays 46 now, 17, almost 18 into the third.
Maybe the Tigers are mounting a bit of a comeback there at the Swinburne Centre. Simpson overruns the ball, but then goes back in, gets it back. Sam Simpson did well. Hand pass to Black. Kicks on the way off the side of the boot, though. The goal kicking's leaving a lot to be desired here today for both sides. 5-3-33 the Cats. Port Melbourne 5-10-40.
Pendlebury to bring the ball back in for Port Melbourne. Runs outside the defensive goal square, just touches the ball on the ground, and then goes for distance back to the grandstand side. And that's a great mark to Khan Haratuku, who's got Templeton running alongside. The kick going up towards centre wing. It just pitches in front of Lyle, and he can't get there in time to trap it before the boundary line, and it will be thrown in. True centre wing position, Goss stand side of the ground. It's an 8-point ball game in favour of Port Melbourne. 18 minutes gone in this third quarter on SEN2. And a replay via vfl.com.au tonight. As the ball's picked up. Well done there by Clark just to trap it. Now to the path of Parsons, who can go for a run. He kicks a long ball inside 50. One, not the second. Taken by four. Dribbling footy. Oh, no, he had more time as well. And he missed the lot.
That's all.
He had some space. Instead, he just threw it onto the boot, Das, and put it across the face of goal. So we're going to have it thrown in. 10 metres around from the behind post. Important play here for the Cats. 19 minutes into the third as it's tossed back in. Smith getting the tap down into the path of Parsons. Gets the handball out. Here's Selwood off a step. He misses. Yikes. 5-3. 5-4-34 plays 5-10-40.
Goal here, the Cats would be important, wouldn't it? Make it a draw at the moment.
Johnston to bring this one back in. We did have a level ball game late at the VU Whitten Oval as well, Stoney, before Williamstown kicked away. Johnston runs around, buzzer on the mark, and then sends the ball long again toward that Goss stand side. A good mark. Backing back by Guthrie. Cuts inboard, Menegola. He'll go with the short pass. Just 15 for Constable. Standing start. Charlie Constable inside 50. And Black from behind. Wasn't paid the mark. Hand pass off. Dispossessed then was McLaughlin. Might have been taken high. It's hot in the kitchen right now. Good tackle, Browless. Hand pass comes out. Just spat in the direction eventually of Arnott. Standing start. High wobbler. No mark was taken. As Lyle goes inside 50 looking for Pearson. Guthrie gets a hand on it. Pearson trying to keep it in. Tried to scoop it illegally. So a free kick for Geelong. And Guthrie goes across the face of goal.
He does. Finds Reid, who just holds the ball up. Last line of defence. Reid's kick outside the 50. Rivets one grab, not the second. It was a bit of a low baller. Menegola will see it over and we'll have it thrown in right next to the Port Melbourne bench.
Oh, look who's got it. Igniter giving it back to the boundary umpire.
Just bring on next season already. You just check he's on a multiple year deal, Stoney, by the way. Ball tossed back in. Wen working with Smith. Just hacked off the ground there by McLaughlin, trying to hack it forward. Still got possession here, the Cats. As the ball's in the hands of Simpson. His kick, though, is going to be turned over.
Bit of pressure.
Yeah, at half back. And they can just reset again here, the Borough. Again, absorbing the pressure. The long kick from Phillips going up towards centre wing. It's going to be turned over again. We're on centre wing. Menegola took a good mark. And he set that up for Brownless. Brownless's kick across the ground is okay. Jarvis had to go and get it. He's got Guthrie in support on our broadcast side. His kick up towards half forward. Oh, it was an okay one for Kruger, but he missed the slips catch. It fell to Black, though. Here's an opportunity. Constable's going to have a shot at the goal, all the way to the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Ball near the line. It goes over. We will have it thrown in.
Constable's kick there was actually a centre for the top of the square, but it came off the side of the boot and almost accidentally went through. Had to just had a bit more distance on it.
Around the grounds.
Essendon 12-7-79, Richmond 8-4-52. So the Tigers are kicking a couple of goals to try and peg that back. That game running on the same timeline as ours. Boundary throwing inside 50 for the Cats. Parsons might not have had it. Van Noonan kicks away. Wolfington's in the foot race here against Simpson, but the Sherrin will win. Boundary throw in.
And earlier today it was a win for Williamstown, 11-11-77 to Footscray, 9-10-64 at VU Whitten Oval. Williamstown into the prelim. Footscray to play the winner of this one.
Tomorrow, the other elimination final between Werribee and Box Hill. That's going to be an exciting matchup as well. We'll be calling that one, Peter, on 11-16 SEN. Down the line we go toward that wing. Hand pass off and kick didn't go far in the end. Cats get it back. It's a rush ball toward Wiley Buzzard territory. Phillips does well to get the fist over the top. Draws the applause from the home fans and a boundary throw in.
Stoney Gasper copped a really hard knock there, really hard bump in the previous contest. Just slowly getting to his feet now.
Yeah, there's going to be a few sore boys out there, I'll tell you.
Charlie Constable already up to 30 touches for the day for the Cats. Umpire brings this in. We are in attack here for Geelong. I reckon Zach Smith might have been Falcon there. Templeton, as he has often today out of the congestion, clears away. Ball tried to be trapped on ground level by Signorello, and he got trapped himself. It'll be a ball up after Sam Menegola lays the tackle.
So ball thrown up. Smith trying to do the work. Now Menegola laying the tackle on Wolfenden. Has to go back in and get it. Pack forms. Umpire will throw it up. A one-goal ball game. Almost 24 minutes gone in the third quarter. Hard Jacket Totally Workwear VFL Live. Ball tossed back up. Getting onto it is Simpson. He's 360'd over the line and will be thrown in. The Borough faithful liking that one. Another goal, another behind to the Bombers. The Swinburne Centre as the ball's tossed back in. When this time for Port Melbourne had the better of the contest, has to go back in and lay the tackle now. It's on the ground, no one can get clear. Now a clearing kick for Port Melbourne. Sends them up towards centre wing. And the mark not paid as a Cats mark. It should have been paid in the end, but Jarvis not awarded it. Now a chance for the Borough as a high ball goes towards the top of the goal square. Lyle couldn't take the mark. He's going to be paid a high tackle. In the goal square. And this to make it a 2-point ball game. A 2-goal ball game, I should say.
Just a difficult moment, just to get that ball forward. Just really great play.
And he steps in and kicks the goal. Lyle's got his second. Well, they got some more breathing space. 6-10-46, Port Melbourne. Geelong 5-4-34. And we've got 25 minutes in this third quarter around the grounds, Adam.
Essendon leading Richmond by 34 points. Michael Harley with his third goal of the game. So approaching three-quarter time. Essendon 13-8-86, Richmond 8-4-52.
So heading towards three-quarter time there, heading towards three-quarter time here. 46 plays 34.
Port Melbourne's biggest lead of the day was 13 points. We wait for everyone to go back into their starting formations. And as we know, a very careful bounce routine here that we've seen from Paul Rebishini today. Not a bad bounce to restart play. Haratuku, very clever tap over his shoulder. Rivet gets rid of the tackler in Jones. Hacked the ball toward half forward. No mark was taken, Gasper, but out the back is Walker. Shanked his kick badly. Very, very badly. Out of bounds on the full.
Is that like you playing golf, Stoney?
That's like reminiscent of the bloke that used to wear 29 here at Port Melbourne who picked up the ball like that. And more than not, Chrissy Kane wearing number 29.
More often than not, didn't finish like that, though.
Guthrie's kick is effective. Menegola marks and a short pass now for, I thought it was Parsons, but I think it's actually Jones. It is Jones. Bit of a wobbler toward Black and an easy kill in the end for Johnston, having a good third term as the ball goes out of play for a boundary throwing.
I reckon Black lost that in the summer.
Yep. One of those grounds, Stoney, that where the sun can be a bit of an issue if you are
looking into it.
Yep. I think I was trying to spit out east-west sort of goal setup here. Inside 50 we go. Simpson penetrating ball over to back, and Pendlebury's going to have scored it through for a minor score. 5-5, 35 to 6, 10, 46, an 11-point lead for the Borough as we approach three-quarter time.
Pendlebury just working out what he wants to do. He's going to go the grandstand side again. The kick going long outside the 50. Haratuku the target. Well done by Smith, front position though, to force it over the line. We will have it thrown in. Danny Union's kicked another goal down at the Swinburne Centre. Heading towards three-quarter time. Handy cushion there.
It's a game-high lead now for the Bombers.
As the ball falls to Menegola, who kicks towards half forward. It sends it back to the boundary line, and we will have it thrown in. Having gained around 23 or so metres. We'll bring you a three-quarter time score from the Swinburne Centre when it comes through. But 28 minutes gone here. 46 plays 35. 2 goals 2 for the Borough. 1 goal 1 for the Cats. It's a tight contest, and this is another example of it. Another stoppage. The umpire will come in and throw it up again. Borough faithful wanted holding the footy. The umpire said that ain't happening. So we're heading towards the three-quarter time break. Umpire tosses the ball back up. Haratuku into the ruck for Port Melbourne, grabbed it out of the ruck and just hacked it onto the boot. Up towards centre wing. Gasper just shot the handball out, trying to find Tommy O'Sullivan. He's on hands and knees. Walker trying to help out too. Now the tackling pressure comes in and the Borough able to kick inside the 50. Lyle creating a nuisance of himself. Mitchell gets the handball out for Geelong. They've got some numbers on this side. As Kennelly's kick is going to be a free kick to Kruger. He was dealt with in the marking contest by Harvey Hooper. Still inside defensive 50, squaring up the ball, it's turned over. Well, the kick was going across the ground and Isaac Conway said, thanks, I'll take that. And he'll line up and have a shot directly in front from just inside the 50.
Now, Isaac, a former Werribee player, loves the goal. So let's see how he goes.
So into the breeze, 29 and a half minutes gone. Margin is 11 before the kick. Steps to the 50, Conway. Has to give it everything. It's straightening up and it's through. Conway kicks his first of the afternoon, and there's the breathing space for the Borough. 7:10:52, plays 5:5:35. We've played almost 30 minutes in this third term. Let's go around the grounds.
Essendon by 40 points over Richmond, 14-8-92. Richmond 8-4-52. That one is in the shadows of three-quarter time. One for you, Mark Stone.
Yeah.
Bombers leading Richmond by 40 points at the Swinburne Centre. Richmond has 20 AFL listed players in that game. Essendon only 11. And the Bombers lead by 40.
It's all about attitude, Adam. Attitude. Would you bring this like Port Melbourne today? Bring the attitude to the game. Doesn't matter how many players you've got of elite ability. Best side wins.
17-point ball game here at Adcon Stadium. Umpire puts down another brilliant bounce. It's been excellent today to bouncing Rivet out of the centre. Another clearance for the Borough, although the ball just held up in the breeze, I think, and O'Sullivan had to go back and fetch it. Did well in the end. Blair wrapped up immediately.
I'm going to try and get to Shane O'Brien three-quarter time, see if I can get a comment on him as to what he's going to say to his players, because they need to lift because they're getting beaten around the pack.
Oh, you're going to get him before the huddle, Stoney?
No. After that.
Okay. So you're leaning a different way there as Templeton sends the ball inside 50. Pearson has almost been stay at home in his third term. Couldn't take the mark that time. Henderson, he's wrapped up in the tackle by Johnson. Ball up in the pocket. Port Melbourne, what a wonderful football club this is. Their old rival Williamstown already through to a prelim. They might be on a collision course at some point in this final series. What an occasion that'd be as the ball gets cleared back toward the middle. Ball bounced away from Johnston. Lang did well to win it back for Port Melbourne. Ball goes vertical. He might mark his own kick. He almost did. Lang up towards half forward, and the siren goes before Signorello takes the mark. Michael Pell confirms that. No shot on goal for Signorello. Three-quarter time at Adcon Stadium. Port Melbourne lead Geelong 7-10-52. The Cats are 5-5-35.
Yeah, good quarter of footy again, especially for Port Melbourne, who kicked 3 goals 2 in that quarter to 1 goal 1. But big final quarter coming up. Let's go through the goal kickers to three-quarter time. And we've got 2 goals each for Templeton and Lyle for Port Melbourne, and singles for Conway, Signorello and Johnson. And for Geelong, all singles across the board. Clark, Buzzer, Fogarty, Brownless and Fort. 7-10-52 plays 5-5-35. A big final quarter coming up as we go around the grounds to the Swinburne Centre.
It's still the Bombers by 40 points. A very long third term there at the Swinburne Centre. Essendon 14-8-92. Richmond 8-4-52. No change to the score in a good about 5-minute patch now. Danny Noonan, the most recent goal kicker for the Bombers.
All right, we'll take a break. Final quarter to come. Stick around. It's a close one here at Adcon Stadium in Port Melbourne. It is the Borough 52 leading Geelong 35. And we'll be back with more in a moment on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act to thrive with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear. For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
It's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Where it is three-quarter time at Adcon Stadium in Northport Oval in Port Melbourne. And it is Port Melbourne 7-10-52 leading Geelong 5-5-35. Peter Mercado, Adam Saracoglu and Mark Stone with you. Stoney in the three-quarter time huddle for the Cats. The huddle broken up for the Borough. Let's go around the grounds because three-quarter time over at the Swinburne Centre, Adam.
Bombers go into the final term against Richmond with a 40-point cushion, 14-8-92. The Bombers, Richmond 8-4-52. 4 goals for Aaron Heppel, 3 each for Hartley and Union, 2 each for the Tigers for Chol, Menadue and Marlon Pickett. If I've got time, I might do some individual stats very quickly.
Yep, do that.
Smith has 17 for the Tigers, 15 for Ross, and then for the Bombers, 26 for Myers, 19 for Heppel. Having a day out today is Aaron Heppel, 16 for Trent Minor for the Bombers.
As the huddle breaks up for the Cats, Stoney, just jump in when you're ready.
No, I couldn't get him. He just said, I've just got to totally focus on this. So Jono Bree focused on his team, and the tackle count's interesting. It's double, 60-30 in favour of Port Melbourne at the moment, and he just said that Port Melbourne's outplayed in every aspect of the game. He just wants to take the game on, try and win the quarter. Let's see what happens as the quarter. There's plenty of time. It's 30 minutes, and they're going to have to play 30 minutes of inspired footy, and he wants his leaders to stand up. Aaron Blakey just asked for a big effort in this last quarter, but the tackle count is massive.
That's Geelong's tackle count anyway, Stoney. The VFL app says 67-57, 10 plus for the Cats. So maybe they're counting their tackles a little differently, I think, the Cats.
That's right.
Yep, so we're almost set for the final quarter. Got to wait for the spectators to get off the ground. Earlier, a win for Williamstown, 11-11-77 to Footscray, 9-10-64.
I suppose that, Stoney, can tackles be subjective? I mean, if you just get a hand on someone, is that a tackle?
No, I think it's about the effectiveness of the tackle, and every time you go into the ball, you can't dispose of the ball properly, and so you're under pressure, your kicks are under pressure, your handball's under pressure, everything's under pressure. And Port Melbourne have played a perfect three quarters so far.
Clearly, Geelong statisticians have a very different interpretation of tackle as opposed to champion data.
All right, here we go. Here, last of the spectators making their way off Adcon Stadium. Tomorrow, we're back. Werribee and Box Hill, the second of the elimination finals. Potentially a match-up there for the winner against Richmond. But we'll see how these final quarters play out. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear, VFL Live. Let's get into the final term.
The semi-final date with Footscray's on the line here. Umpire puts it down. Not a great bounce, and the first one recalled for the day to start the final term. Adam Saracoglu, Peter Mercado and Mark Stone on the coverage. I believe it's the three of us again here tomorrow.
Correct.
And that one will be Werribee and Box Hill in the other elimination final. Play restarts. Blair got a little kick away, was pressured by McLaughlin. Cats win it back though. Abbott held onto it, had to just navigate a couple of tacklers. Kick didn't go far in the end though. Wolfenden spits the hand pass out. Blair hacks Port Melbourne inside 50. Ball had plenty of carry. And out the back waiting for it was Lockie Henderson for Geelong.
And he takes the mark. He looks across the ground and sees Simpson making up some space. He eventually gets to the footy. He's in the back pocket. He goes with a low dribbler. It's dangerous. Black caught up in the tackle. It's holding the footy. In fact, it's a throw. And Lang will take the free kick for Port Melbourne.
I tell you what, if Port Melbourne get this goal, the grandstand's going to fall down because the supporters will go crazy. It's going to take a lot for Geelong to get back.
Well, let's see what Shannon Lang can do. Hasn't kicked a goal today. He's got 16 for the season. Played almost every game. And this would make it really hard for Geelong to get back into the contest. In he comes, Shannon Lang. Right behind this kick. He steps inside the 50. Just slightly better than the 45. The kick, will it drag back? No, off the post. We're watching that all the way. 7-11-53, Port Melbourne, Geelong 5-5-35. We've gone a minute and a half in this final quarter.
Henderson to bring this in for Geelong. Wants to go towards the Goss stand side as they have all day. Good penetrating kick. No mark taken, no by Kruger. That's a later tackle in the end. Well one back by Hooper. Long range handball over the top. Tried to set up a teammate, but the hand pass just had a bit too much heat on it. It was Jared Blair, the intended target. And we have the boundary throw in. One of these teams playing their final quarter of the season here in the hard jacket, Totally Workwear VFL. Ball missed by Menegola. It spills back out of play. Boundary throwing.
I thought Ryan Ever just falconed the ball over the line then.
So a falcon was there, Stoney.
There was a falcon.
Much closer to it than what we were. Ball thrown in. Front of the main canteen bar area here. Well populated, as you would expect, for Port Melbourne final. Here's Selwood. Stopped in his tracks and forced out of play by Woofenden. 2.5 minutes gone, final turn. We're about to get underway at the Swinburne Centre as well. Looks like, Peter, our game might finish just a little ahead of that at the Swinburne Centre.
Not by much as the ball's tossed back in. Abbott just grabbed it out of the ruck, went out of the way. He was wrapped up in the tackle, but still got some numbers running alongside. And Selwood's kick in the middle of the ground is excellent. Finds Simpson. Here's a chance for the Cats. Ball over the head of Jones, but he's going to run into the open goal. Oh, the footy bounced over his head in the end. Johnson then had the upper hand. His kick heading towards the boundary. He goes out of bounds on the foot. Came off O'Sullivan's boots. And the free kick's going to be taken by Simpson. I think too far out to score. As Simpson kicks to the top of the goal square. Hooper comes in and takes the mark for Port Melbourne. Just over the head of Sam Menegola. And Hooper will look to reset the Borough again. His kick long outside the 50. Dangerous, looking for Templeton, couldn't take the mark. Selwood's there, trying to get the handball across to Parsons, he couldn't. Again, well done there by Templeton. It ends up in the hands of Blair, he receives the handball back again, then goes with a high kick inside the 50. Good mark, going back with the flight. Henderson takes it for the Cats. 53 plays 35, the kick into the middle of the ground is a good one, and Parsons takes a strong mark.
5 marks now for Henderson as Parsons goes for Kruger. On the centre wing, Kruger, left foot ball into attack, we go for the Cats. Jones went up, didn't bring the ball down. Then Junior O'Sullivan left it behind. Had to go back into the chaos. Couldn't get around Jones. Well done, Jermaine Jones. A throw in, is it, Stoney? Or
throw in, ball in.
Just into attack now for the Cats, who are down by 3 straight kicks. 4.5 minutes gone at final term. Umpire throws it in. Wen did well to win it down, but not to advantage. Kruger on all fours. Had to just get that hand pass out, but couldn't find the teammate. Then a goaler with the tackle. Eventually, it is going to be hacked inside 50 by Abbott. Buzzer didn't get a good look at it and got held onto. So a free kick for Wiley Buzzer.
Well, you're in a better position than us, Stoney, to see that.
I would have balled the ball up. They'll both hold each other, so that's a bit stiff there for the Port Borough defence.
They're holding each other, it's just play on, you would hope.
Yeah, correct.
Wiley Buzzer did kick the first goal of the game. Tight angle.
Left footer.
To bring the margin to 12 points, Buzzer kicks the goal for Geelong. 6-5-41, Port Melbourne 7-11-53. And we are 5.5, nearly 6 minutes gone into this final turn.
It's got this feeling this game's going to go right down to the wire, as you would say, gentlemen. It's got a feeling about it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's go around the ground. Swinburne Centre, please.
No change to the score. Early stages final term. Bombers by 40, 14-8-92. Richmond 8-4-52. Winner advances to the prelim. Loser has to play again next week, either against Werribee or Box Hill.
10th in a row, wasn't it, for Williamstown? Prelims?
They will be playing in their 10th consecutive preliminary final
run
in a fortnight from now.
Good club, well, good recruitment.
Agree. Ball back in the middle. Paul Rebashini puts it onto the turf. Reaching over the top was Wen, but Smith coming through, just trying to paddle it in front of him. It went behind him in the end. Trying to work it out again was Wen. Down to Templeton, whose kick heads up towards half forward. Forced to wait for it, there was Gaspar. It goes to the hands of Conway. Handball across to Arnott. Here he is again. Gaspar trying to drag the ball back. Nope. Out of bounds on the full.
He's all right, actually, young Gaspar. He's not a bad little player.
The 23rd player today.
Yeah.
And it will be Aaron Black to bring the ball back into play.
Early final term goal for Richmond. Dan Butler gets his second, margin 34.
As the ball is off hands here, Guthrie dragged down in the tackle near the boundary line. We will have it thrown in on that grandstand side where the majority of the play has been today. 7 minutes into the final term. 53 plays 41.
Geelong player down.
And the Cats player down. See who it is.
Is that Kruger again with his shoulder maybe?
No, it's Guthrie. Who's
Ankle.
hobbling.
Yep.
Well,
fair bit of pain too, Zach Guthrie.
Yep, will be right in front of you, Stoney, as he makes his way off the ground.
Trying to walk it off.
If he indeed does walk it off.
Refusing to come off, Zach Guthrie. Breed him tough, those Guthrie boys, Stoney.
Not an enormous surprise, that.
So, ball at half forward. It's going to be hacked inside 50. Rivet to the top of the square. Look out for Signorello here. A good tackle there by Reed. Forced out of play now is Walker. Boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket from Port Melbourne. Leading by 2 straight kicks. In a low-scoring game, a goal here really hurts Geelong. Boundary throw-in. Zach Guthrie looks like he's still out there, Stoney. All's okay there. Ball hacked toward the square out of nowhere. It's a goal! It's a goal! I think it was Tommy O'Sullivan who was slung in the tackle, got boots a ball, and it went all the way. Amazing goal for Port Melbourne. Margins 18 points once more, 8-11-59. Geelong is 6-5-41. And Port Melbourne might be on their way to the semi. What a goal that was.
That was Junior, I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think it was.
Tommy O'Sullivan kicks a big, big goal.
A huge goal in the context of the game because Geelong were really starting to have a crack, and a goal against, obviously, with the breeze of the Port Melbourne's a really good goal.
He was dragged down in the tackle and still managed to get the ball down onto his boot.
Most importantly, an empty goal square as well. No goalkeeper on the line for the Cats, so the ball just allowed to go through.
So, getting back to that breathing space for the Borough. Ball back in the middle. It's going to go outside the circles. And we pause to let Adam Sarakoglu give his usual editorial.
Here's the comeback.
Actually, it's been pretty good, actually, Adam. All day they've bounced.
No, I'm not worried about that.
Oh, he's not for a change.
I'm talking about the Swinburne Centre. Another goal for the Tigers. Jake Arts, and the margin's 28.
How long gone there?
Very early final term, 6.5.
Ball back in the middle again. So Arnott gets the clearance this time for the Borough. And that's a fine mark taken by Jones, the 23rd player. Edge of the square for the Cats' defensive side. He goes across the ground, intended for Kruger. He's got to beat Jared Blair. The bounce beat Kruger, but he got back again. He was 360 in the tackle, managed to get it across to Henderson. His handball was partially smothered. Working there, Tommy O'Sullivan. He's ridden into the turf by Selwood. Good contest. Umpire will throw it up on centre wing. Goss stands side. It's a good crowd today. Smith getting the tap down for the Cats. And that's going to be a free kick going the way of Arnott. He was just crunched on the turf.
He's been good today, Arnott.
He's been very good.
Third goal for the Tigers. They've kicked 3 in a row to start the final term. Cal Coleman Jones, margin 22.
All right, things tightening up at the Swinburne Centre.
That's 3 goals in 6 minutes for the Tigers.
Arnott trying to go one-handed there. Was picked up by Gasper. He goes around the body. No free kick inside 54. Port Melbourne. Good tackling pressure again by the Cats. It's eventually released. Heading back outside the 50. It might come straight back in. There's going to be a free kick going the way of the Borough again. And it will go Isaac Conway's way. He can't get the trip. He's a long way out. But he's just going to put it up towards the teeth of goal. Smith flew, but there's a mark in for Cigarello.
Just read the ball really well in flight.
He weighted down and it fell into his arms, and he'll line up and have a shot, and this could almost take care of the contest. The kick coming in, we're just seeing on our replay on our video stream, it was Smith who tried to fly over the top. Signorello, the player, he kicked a goal in the second term. He comes in from 35 and now he's got 2. Borough flags flying. And Port Melbourne move on to 9-11-65. Geelong 6-5-41. We've gone 12 minutes in the final quarter. Hardiaca Totally Workwear VFL live today.
They've played a really fine game of football so far, Port Melbourne. They've been defensive active, hard of the footy. They've used the breeze when they had to. They've got some really key players in the team. Their experience through Blair and these type of players have really taken them to this point in the game, 10 minutes in.
Around the grounds.
Richmond's kicked 3 goals, 2 unanswered in this final term, margin down to 20. So they've already halved the deficit.
Well, same thing needs to happen here now for the Cats.
It's a game-high lead. The Borough have 1 foot in the door. They'll be back here next week against Footscray if they hold on and win. Simpson gets the clearance. It's desperation time for the Cats. Inside 50, buzzer couldn't mark. McLaughlin doing battle against Van Noonan. Ripped off, it was Hooper, and he'll get the free kick for holding the man.
And that's part of the frustration, isn't it, Stoney? Giving away that free kick.
Well, the Port Melbourne team want the ball more. It's as simple as that. You get in first to the footy, get the free kicks, and that's what they've done all day. Like, that's the difference in the teams.
I'll tell you what, we thought we had the close one, Peter. We've actually got the biggest margin of the day right now across the 3 games, but definitely not over yet. O'Sullivan, the barrel, up towards half forward. Signorello couldn't take the mark. Good one-on-one battle there. Ground level, some heavy contact, and a Port Melbourne player is out cold.
Yeah, it's Jarvis, the player who came in with the bump. He might be reported for that. We'll just see after everyone unpicks themselves. Yep, the umpire's going to the book.
So if we do get a replay for people watching this one on VFL.com.au, we'll see if we can.
Front on contact.
It is front on contact.
And we are going to get a look at it now on the replay. That is heavy. Blake Pearson is the man who was collected. So what's the status of Blake Pearson, Stoney?
He's fine.
Back up on his feet now?
Yeah, he's fine through.
Well, in the end, Ben Jarvis is going to be reported. He's gone into the book.
You wouldn't believe it.
Another goal.
Another goal to the Tigers around the grounds. Dan Butler now has 3, margin 14 at the Swinburne Centre.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it, would you?
Some day of VFL footy we're having in the Love the Game final series.
I probably could believe that. I mean, the way Richmond's played this season.
Play restarts. We're inside 50. Haratuku couldn't get a jump on it. Little touch there by Johnson. It goes out of play and a boundary throw in. So Richmond in this final term at the Swinburne Centre have kicked 4 goals 2, I believe. 4 goals 2. They started down by 40 and now it's only 14. Ball coming back into play here. The Borough might be a goal away from sealing it. We've got a ball up. They lead by 24 points in a low-scoring game. Halfway into the final term, 15 minutes gone. Ball bouncing. Conway almost had his head ripped off. Lang, his kick was smothered. Desperate defending by the Cats. Selwood has it. But Blair has him. He didn't get rid of it. And a ball up.
Just the pressure again around the ball. Geelong haven't been able to get their game going because Port Melbourne haven't allowed them to do that.
So we've got it inside 50 for Port Melbourne. They've just locked down beautifully this afternoon. Ball tossed back up. Abbott grabbed it out of the ruck and just tossed it onto the boot. It's heading towards the boundary line. It takes a wicked bounce, heading back towards the 50 for Port Melbourne, but Constable gets his hands on it again. Been one of the best players for Geelong, but it only goes as far as a Port Melbourne attacking player. They come flying in from all directions inside the forward pocket. No one can take clean possession. It's right near the line again, and it does go over, and every contest being applauded. Mitchell sees it over for the Cats. We'll bring you some around the grounds in a moment, see whether they're going to keep going here, Richmond, or will it be Essendon to get the job done? Ball in dispute, trying to work hard here is Blair. And he's wrapped up in the tackle by Selwood, and we'll have it thrown up into attack again. This is where the Borough want it. Abbott getting the tap down. Again, he takes it out of the ruck. Again, he just hurls it onto the boot. And it was a flat-looking kick, and Kruger took the mark.
Dan Butler's done it again. 8 points is the lead now for the Bombers at the Swinburne Centre.
So they've stopped completely over there as the ball now into space on centre wing. No one can pick it up now. We've got a tackling contest, and the umpire should throw it up. He will.
Dan Butler's got 3 goals in this final term now. That one looks like it's going to go down to the wire at the Swinburne Centre.
Ball toss back up here. Can the Cats sneak one? Simpson just shot the handball out into dangerous territory if you're a Borough fan. Simpson going back in again, just got the handball out, but again it's just been locked in. Again, disciplined play by the Borough. Time ticking down, 65 plays 41, 17 minutes gone in this final quarter. We're back tomorrow for Werribee and Box Hill. Have it again, getting the tap down. Menegola picks it up, he's 360, got it across to Simpson, but he threw it, said the umpire.
He's been good, Big Quinn. I like his game. He's really, he's a young fella on the rise, so it's good to see him playing some good footy.
And considering the tall timber that the Cats bring to the table, he's had a power of work to do today. So Wen at half back on the grandstand side, kicks a long high ball. No one can take the mark off hands. Templeton's got some space, can go for a run, takes a bounce, closes to 50, puts the ball onto the top of the square. It's Sullivan! Junior takes the mark. Now this would pretty much seal as we head towards time on in this final quarter. He's already kicked a goal in this final term. That one miraculous. This one a little more straightforward, you would think.
This will bring the grandstand down.
25 metres out, directly in front. O'Sullivan comes in and he's kicked the goal. Port Melbourne look on their way to a semi-final. 10-11-71, play 6-5-41 as we've gone almost 19 minutes in this final term around the grounds, Adam.
Essendon holding on by 7 points at the moment. 14-8-92 have not scored in the final term. Richmond 13-7, 85, 16 and a half into the final term at the Swinburne Centre. Big day. I've loved the game. VFL Finals footy. One more to go tomorrow. That'll be Box Hill and Werribee.
Well, earlier today it was Williamstown 11-11-77 defeating Footscray 9-10-64.
He's telling a Port Melbourne player to... What is he telling Mac Griffith here? Send the Cats into attack. They must score from this entry. High ball inside 50. A number of plays back there. Ground level ball for Arnott. Picks up, looks ahead. Interesting kick and an interesting mark. Well done by Tom O'Sullivan. Hasn't had a lot of it today, but his impact has been immense. O'Sullivan back toward his own goal square. Right, taken by Phillips, goes by hand for Lang, who fumbles. Did get it back in time though. Hand pass over the top. Waddell's kick down the line. Bouncing in front of the Norm Goss stands, and Menegola happy to watch it go out of play. We have a boundary throw in. Still 7 points at the Swinburne Centre. Here, it's a 30-point lead for Port Melbourne.
And they led by 17 points at three-quarter time. The Borough now extended their lead with the breeze in the final term. Wen going to work with Darcy Fort now in the ruck. He's been quiet today. As the ball's near the line again, Arnott will just push it towards the line.
Adam, what's Matty Arnott's stats today? He's been really good good around the contest.
Get them both. We'll get that for you in just a moment. Stoney as the ball's tossed back in. True centre wing position on the grandstand side. And there's Fort getting the tap down. Conway coming through, wrapped up in the tackle. Going nowhere, and the umpire will throw it up.
16 for Arnott today, Stoney.
It's just his work, his tough work around in the contest has been really good.
Ball tossed back up. No one can get clear from this. Umpire's going to allow it to occur, just to keep going for a while, and then it'll stop. 22 minutes gone, final turn. Any change to the scoreline at Swinburne Centre?
No, a 7-point lead still for the Bombers, who have not scored in the final turn. Darcy Fort has given away the free kick here.
A free kick to Wen.
Maybe now they start milking some clock here, Port Melbourne. When you've got a 5-goal lead time onto the final term, you should not be losing it. Mark here by Henderson. He's taken a few defensive marks today for the Cats. Gets it moving toward the wing once more. Buzzer presented. No mark was taken. Trying to burrow his way through was Shannon Lang. Good tackle by Buzzer. Ball came out in the last moment. Blair one way and the other. Did get brought down. Umpire says play on. Phillips with his kick towards half forward, just ricocheted off the boot of Gasper. Now it's Pearson onto the right. Port Melbourne inside 50. Pearson's ball through the hands of Big Khan Haratuku. Mitchell, Guthrie. Cats out of danger, although Guthrie's kick sprays off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full. They go back inside 50 and Walker takes the mark for Port Melbourne.
When Gary does a tape during the week, there'll be about 25 pressure acts in the tape that he'll show you. Just keep playing over and over again because that's why they've won the game.
Sprayed one terribly on the run in the third term. And Campbell Walker. This would start the party for Port Melbourne. The margin is 30 points in their favour before the kick. Campbell Walker, tough angle, kicks on the way, missing near side. The margin is 31 points.
As Henderson brings the ball back into play, or looking to anyway. Just throws his hands up and says, I'm going to go straight up the guts. That's all the only option he's got now. The kick intended for Buzzer. Has some work to do. Waddell did well just to tap it to Tom O'Sullivan, who puts the Borough straight back inside the 50. Coming out to me, just hurling it onto the boot there was Gasper. His kick was smothered outside the 50. They've got the numbers here. Mitchell got the handball out. Menegola, his handball missed the target. Now Tommy O'Sullivan trying to pick it up. He's being harassed there by Reed. Ball still in dispute. Now it's a Cats footy as it heads outside the 50. Kruger runs around Lang and goes for a run on the grandstand side. How far did he run, umpire? Handball's inboard to Simpson. His kick heading up towards half forward. Buzzer on the long lead takes the mark. He wants to go on. He needs to go on. His kick into the forward pocket. It's too far for its initial target, but Jones picks it up. Oh, he stumbled at the crucial moment in the goal square. And the ball's been turned over. He had to release it, Jones. Desperation again from the Borough defence. And Templeton will have the ball.
I've got a feeling he was holding the ball. Great tackle, Dion Johnston. And Jones is still down, by the way.
He's on his knee.
As the kick here finds Cingarello. You keep an eye on that, Stoney. Meanwhile, the ball's in the middle of the ground. Picked up here by Johnson. He gets a handball over the top. Here's a chance to finish it off. Off and done! And that'll do. 11-12, 78 play, 6-5, 41. Port Melbourne to play Footscray here next week.
Jones.
Well, give us the update on Jones, Stoney.
Cramp, I think, Stoney.
Crampy just went down. Says he went down to cramp. Set in.
At the Swinburne Centre, we have a 1-point game at the 23-minute mark of the final term, and it's still the Bombers clinging on by now a single point, 14-8-92. In fact, a point now for the Tigers. Scores level. Richmond, 14-8-92. Scores level, time on final term. Essendon has not scored a point in the final term at the Swinburne Centre.
Now would be the time to do it.
Any point will do if you're a Bomber. That Punt Road Oval, back live here at Adcon Stadium. A secondary ball up.
You can't do that. You cannot.
Well, you can if one side completely stops.
Yeah, just you must have the breeze.
Lang's going to run onto this one. What a great day for Port Melbourne. They'll be in the semi next week against Footscray. Pearson, hand pass over the shoulder, was effective. Lyle tried to get it moving to Tommy O'Sullivan. It goes out of play for a boundary throw-in.
The only concern, I guess, for the Borough at the moment is Mac Rivet being reported, I would say.
Yeah.
So, boundary throw-in here, inside forward 50 for Port Melbourne. They are going to win this elimination final. A good day to be a standalone team in the VFL. Williamstown got up earlier over Footscray. They're into a 10th successive prelim. I'm not kidding, 10th successive. As Rivet almost got collided with in midair by Henderson. Gets the handball received. Snaps on goal!
Nope.
Over the top of the goalpost, I think. So a minor score in the end. 11-14, 80. Playing 6-5, 41.
It's a kick going long outside the 50. Ball into the path of Menegola. He overran it in the end. Henderson just trying to paddle it forward. Menegola ran onto the centre wing. He picked it up, worked it to Selwood. Now they get some run going. Jarvis who can take a bounce. He closes to 50. He's kick up towards the top of the goal square. No mark taken. They come flying in from all directions. No one can get clear. Conway shot the handball out. Hooper did well. Wolfenden, he's got safe hands and he kicks the ball deep outside the 50. Finds on centre wing Jordan Lyle. Lyle's kick over the top into the path of Blair, who takes the mark. He slows down. Parsons just getting back onto the mark. Any movement at Swinburne Centre?
Scores level, 92 apiece.
How long?
As the kick goes deep, or doesn't go deep inside the 50, it enters the 50. It was a good kick, but it falls to the back. Parsons is there. In fact, it's Jones, I should say. As the kick still inside defensive 50. Kennelly picks it up. He goes by hand to Mitchell, who runs outside defensive 50. A nice run. He's kicked towards our commentary box. Works it to Selwood. Selwood in the bright sunshine, just forced to slow down. Handball over the top for Buzzer, who now goes long kick inside the 50. Waddell caught in a contest with his own teammate in the end. Ford wrapped up in the tackle, dragged down by Johnston, and the umpire says throw it up.
Stay, I can tell you 26 minutes have ticked by at the Swinburne Centre. Scores level.
26, you say?
26 gone. I think there might have been a goal to Essendon, Peter Mercado.
Yes, there is.
Goal to Essendon.
Look at that for me as we call the live play here
Bagley.
inside 50 for the Cats. So the Bombers finally score. And they might be on their way to a preliminary final as Simpson's wrapped up in the tackle here.
You remember 12 months ago, Stoney? Remember the elimination final here featuring Port Melbourne?
Yes, just elaborate.
Sock it off the ground. It was a famous win, I think, for Box Hill that day.
It was.
Pendlebury, hand pass off Blair. His kick did find Templeton, but he ran into trouble. Jones not allowing him to get a kick away in the end. The turnover. Browlis has a flying shot. It's going to spray across the face. Diving effort. No mark for Haratuku. Ground level ball, and the ball gets cleared out. Bouncing on the wing in front of the Goss stand. Reed trying to keep it in, but he can't. And a boundary throw in.
Now, just to elaborate very quickly, yes, it went into extra time, if you remember. 25 seconds on the clock. Box Hill went from one end of the ground to the other. Ollie Hanrahan kicked the goal to level the scores. We went into extra time.
So boundary throw in here in front of the Goss stand. McLaughlin sends Geelong inside 50, and it's all Port Melbourne. Pendlebury uncontested in the end. Read it well in flight, took the relieving mark.
Who are you going to get to speak to after the game, Stoney?
Might go for Moose.
Not sure that helps all of us.
Talking about Jordan Lyle.
Thank you. No, Moose
sorry,
was the
Adam.
nickname there. Mark taken by Phillips. Frosty Miller medalist. How many today for Jordan Lyle? 2, I think.
Yep.
They were both in the third quarter. So time now just ticking down here. The margin is 38 points.
Still a goal of difference at the Swinburne Centre. Now 5 points the margin.
Ooh.
28 and a half minutes gone, final quarter. We'll hopefully have that before the end of our broadcast on SEN2.
Port Melbourne looking to get another goal here. Blair, hand pass, O'Sullivan. Under pressure now is Wolfenden, got dispossessed, and we have a ball up just inside 50 for the Borough. 11-13, 79. Port Melbourne, Geelong, 6-5, 41. Port Melbourne will take on Footscray next week. That'll be for a spot in the prelim, which right now would be against Essendon based on the live scores at the Swinburne Centre. Nice tackle laid there by Cal Mitchell. A ball up. So Geelong season over. Of course, their AFL side, they've got a finals campaign to prepare for. But for the VFL side, it's done. High kick and hits the post. It's a very, very high shot on goal. I think it was Blair. Cats quickly with the kick in. The kick's intended for Kennelly. Getting in the way, Pendlebury does win it back for Port Melbourne. Templeton, open shot for Blake Pearson. Kicks the goal. 12-14, 86. Port Melbourne advancing to the semi. Geelong, 6-5, 41.
Yeah, what a game this has been for the Borough. Erasing the memory of 12 months ago in an elimination final. Things still tight at the Swinburne Centre though.
5-point lead for the Bombers over Richmond, plus 30 now in the final term.
So our SEN2 audience will be leaving us pretty much at the conclusion of this one. And we'll continue on our video stream. We'll have the interviews tomorrow. We will be live on 11:16 SEN for Werribee and Box Hill. That at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. We look forward to your company for that one. 4-point margin now at the Swinburne Centre. Ball back in the middle. Can't be much time left, surely. Ball in the hands of O'Sullivan. Back to Templeton. Works it across to Hooper, whose kick up towards centre half forward is off hands. Lang picks it up, has a flying shot from 50. It's an open goal square. The bounce though, they bounced off the line and came back into play. Over the head goes Johnson and puts it through for a behind. The roll went the wrong way. It's another behind to Port Melbourne. As we've played now 34 minutes in this final term. Goodness me, the results know we can move on. The kick up towards half forward here for Geelong. Simpson hasn't stopped trying all day for the Cats. His kick is found Jarvis. He takes the mark.
It's a very good mark by Jarvis.
On the siren. Huge win for Port Melbourne today. The song playing. We'll keep you up to date with the Swinburne Centre as well. It's still a 4-point ball game there.
The song's playing, but the game's not over because we do have a shot on goal for the Cats here.
Meanwhile, Jarvis, as the song continues.
He's having a shot as the song is being played.
Well, they should get a move on. Jarvis comes in, kicks, a goal. So he gets a consolation goal. So the final score here at Adcon Stadium for our SEN2 audience that are leaving us in a moment, 12-15-87 to 7-5-47, a 40-point win to Port Melbourne. And tomorrow we'll have Werribee and Box Hill for our SEN2 audience who are going to be leaving us now. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. As we continue our video stream, they led by 3 points at quarter time, 7 points at half time, 17 points at three-quarter time, and then really piled on the goals. 5 goals to 2, final quarter to win by 40 points. 12-15-87 to 7-5-47. A great win for Port Melbourne, who will take on Footscray next Saturday. We'll get to Stoney in a moment, but let's go to the goal kickers to full-time. Templeton with 2, Lyle with 2, Cigarello with 2, and O'Sullivan, Tommy O'Sullivan with 2, and singles to Conway, Wolfenden, Pearson and Johnson. And for the Cats, 2 to Buzzer, singles to Clark, Jarvis, Fogarty, Brownless and Fort. A 40-point win to Port Melbourne here at Adcon Stadium.
I think Stoney's still just trying to line up Jordan Lyle here for the post-game interview. Still a 4-point lead for the Bombers. No! Richmond goal!
Richmond hit the front!
Goal! Toby Nankervis has put the Tigers in front by 2 points at the 34-minute mark of the final term at the Swinburne Centre. Wow. Wow. The minor premiers. We're being told it was from a free kick. Stoney.
There you go, Izzy Conway. Izzy, you play finals, you play all year to play finals footy. You had a toughie yourself the knee. What did Gary say before the game? Because that was a 4-quarter performance, no doubt.
It was just all about big game mentality today. Started with us boys in the midfield and, Matty Arnott, Jared Blair, it all started with them and, we brought the pressure all day, so that's what we wanted and on to next week.
It takes a lot of concentration to play 4 quarters of pressurised football, but this team, or this club, seems to know how to do it every year.
No, we've got such a proud history of playing finals and it's been unreal. I love playing with Gaz and the boys and it's been a great win.
Good stuff, one of this.
Thank you, Stoney. Might see if we get one more interview before the boys go into the rooms. We might see if we can pick up the song too, but just repeating, 2-point lead to Richmond over Essendon. How many goals they kick in their final quarter? 7.
7 goals, 6 in the final term for the Tigers. Bombers have kicked 1 straight.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow Geordie to see come in the room, so I'll go in the rooms, boys.
All right, we'll see if we can pick up the song, and then we might finish up there. And that is a full-time score. Richmond win by 2 points over Essendon. That's extraordinary. That is an extraordinary result, that final quarter. Here, a lot more straightforward. A 40-point win to Port Melbourne, and their supporters strangely going into the away rooms, because that's just how it operates here. Don't forget our effects mic in the grandstand too, Stoney, as you make your way in underneath.
Of course, they'll be the away team again next week as well against Footscray.
That's exactly right.
Melbourne.
Well, they do get the choice of ground, the home team, as we look at the final quarter highlights, and they were running all the way for the Borough. As I said, 5 goals, 5 in that final quarter to 2 goals straight. It was a great performance. Let's see if we can get the best part of the song. Beautifully done. Thank you, Mark Stone, for your work today. We will catch you tomorrow. A great performance from the Port Melbourne side. 12-15-87 to Geelong, 7-5-47. Williamstown, 11-11-77 to Footscray, 9-10-64. And just that final score from the Swinburne Centre as well.
Richmond by 2 points over Essendon in the end. 15-10-100. Essendon, 15-8. 98. Richmond through to the preliminary final. Essendon will be in the semi next week, hosting either Werribee or Box Hill.
Here at this ground, and it'll be Footscray. We'll be playing against Port Melbourne next Saturday. An early start for that one. And we'll have it for you here on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. But the final quarter highlights, and there were plenty of them if you're a Port Melbourne supporter. And we see another goal on the board. That's just about it for us for this afternoon. Thank you, Adam. It's been another great afternoon. Let's do it all again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Big game between Box Hill and Werribee. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we look forward to your company then. But as we leave you from Adcon Stadium, a big win for Port Melbourne. They've won by 40 points, 12-15-87 to Geelong, 7-5-47. Geelong out of the finals race. The Borough into the semi-finals next week. But for now, it's goodbye from Adcon Stadium.